I'm a woman and you no fit to control me, no fit to control me. And when I walk into a room, you won't know me. I bet you won't know me. I'm on fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, we officially get started, and once again you're welcome to the 2025 edition of Women of Valour. We've got a number. We're going to get started by calling up 4 incredible women, 5 incredible women who are going to be speaking today. But before we do so, we also want to just acknowledge some of our key guests. There is our guest of honor for today, Madame Samia Badat Karam, and
on invite à venir nos invités.
So Madame Samia is going to come up to officially give us your address, but before then, we ask that we was just celebrating you and acknowledging your presence. So you please remain seated here for now. A round of applause for her, please. So, shall we now have our key speakers, our 5 speakers for today. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding round of applause, shall we make welcome Mami Gyamfua Yeboah. She comes up gracefully. Mami is the founder of, yes, please do come and sit, Mami, Office & Co, as well as Oh My Hair. She'll be speaking to us about a very important topic. You'll hear that shortly. Next, Sika Goka. Quintessential lady herself. We've also got Tucci Goka as well. A round of applause for her, please. A celebrated executive in Ghana. She'll be speaking as well. We would very much anticipate what she's going to be sharing with us. We've got Anamoah. Yes. Now next, last but not the least, is Chidimma Adetshina. A round of applause for her. She's got a powerful and inspiring story, and the world has been following her eagerly. Thank you all so much, our Women of Valour. Thank you. Another round of applause for them. Actually, Women of Valour, as you know, was founded in 2023 by a woman who encapsulates women empowerment. She walks the talk when it comes to women empowerment. And that's none other than Anamoah. She's a celebrated broadcast journalist doing this for over 2 decades. And now, as you can see, Women of Valour is not just in the next it's France. And anticipated in any city around you, all across the world. It is global. Anamoah, over to you.
Since I'm in Paris. And bringing this event to Paris took a lot of courage. I believe that I'm a very confident person, but I also sometimes lack a bit of courage. So this was very courageous for me. And one of the courageous moves I try to do is to read a part of my speech in French. Bravo! And so I'll read a part of it in French, and when my courage ends, I'll switch to English. So I'll start now. Bonsoir, chers invités, mesdames et messieurs. J'ai le grand honneur de vous accueillir pour l'émission de 25 des femmes de courage. Ce soir, nous nous réunissons non seulement pour célébrer le courage, mais aussi pour l'année mondiale d'élégance, de courage et de résilience. Cette année, nous avons choisi Paris comme du hôte parce qu'elle est un symbole mondial d'élégance, de courage et de résilience. That's what the courage is. This year, we chose Paris as the host city because it is a global symbol of elegance, courage, and resilience. Paris has a history of boldness, a city that dared to dream differently and inspire change. It perfectly mirrors the spirit of the women and girls we desire to be. Our theme, the audacity of courage, was born out of a desire to amplify stories that defy the odds. Courage is not always loud. Sometimes it's a quiet persistence to keep going. The audacity to rise when the world expects you to stay down. This event is a celebration of those moments, big and small, when women chose to be brave when they didn't have to, or when the world thought that they shouldn't be brave. At this stage, I'd like to introduce you to 5 women who, I believe, are gradually embracing courage, embracing resilience, embracing so many things in their lives that they thought they couldn't deal with. I'll just introduce them as the ambassadors of Women of Valour. I have Anamoah who is there. Anamoah is a sports journalist. Just coming forward here. She's a sports journalist with EIB Network. And Anamoah has a very courageous story, and she's managed to defy the odds. And when the world thought that she could not advance her education, she could not go to the university, she worked hard, and now she's doing a degree in journalism. Next is Versatility. Vanessa is a journalist as well. She had to deal with a lot of challenges in school. She thought she couldn't get through, but she finally made it, graduated. Was it first class or second class? Something. She did very well, she graduated. She's on TV in Ghana and doing amazingly well. Next is Anamoah, one of our ambassadors. Jennifer used to be my PE, and then she abandoned me for a better job. But I'm so happy to see her here in Paris. Blessing Bliss Frimpong is a 4th ambassador. Blessing is doing amazingly well. When I met Blessing, it was an interesting story. She has done so well. Now she's an English teacher. And she's been to Paris before. She's been here. This is your 2nd time. And now she wants to learn French. Yeah, she wants to learn French and add it to English. Our 5th ambassador, unfortunately, is not here yet. But these are 5 ambassadors for Women of Valour. Please, a big round of applause for them. We are here to honor those who inspire us, to learn from their journeys, and to empower others to embrace their strength. Tonight, as we share these stories, I hope we can take away one message, that courage is contagious. And together, we can make it unstoppable. To our sponsors, my team, friends, and family, I extend my deepest gratitude. Their support fuels the vision and brings this event to life every single time. Special thanks as well to our media partners, EIB, Ghana Web, Hobiche, InnoLens, One Clip, and others. Thank you very much. But I'd like to single out the multimedia group operators of Joy 99.7 FM, Joy Prime, Hits, and other networks under that umbrella for going a long, long way to promote Women of Valour. And they are represented in this room tonight by Roslyn Fenny. Thank you for coming all the way to represent Joy Fenny. My biggest gratitude, of course, course, goes to the French Embassy in Accra, especially to the Consul, Madame Gabriel and her team, for their patience and remarkable professionalism during the entire process of facilitating visas for our Ghanaians who traveled over to Paris for this event. As we begin tonight's program, let us be reminded that the power of unity, the strength in diversity, and the unrelenting spirit of women continues to grow. Welcome to Women of Valour, Paris 2025. May this evening be special and inspire all of us. I'm going to say the last line in French. Je vous remercie pour votre attention.
Thank you so much, Nana, and once again, congratulations. A round of applause for her. Thank you for being a trailblazer, Nana about Anamoah. What about guest of honor who we introduced a while ago, and that's the first deputy mayor of the 16th arrondissement of Paris, responsible for general administration, finances, the school fund, the 2024 Olympic Games, and community life.
On est très ravis d'avoir ici une personne adjointe à la mairie de Paris. On est très ravis de vous accueillir, Madame Sania.
Merci beaucoup.
Vous pouvez parler, vous avez un discours, non? Oui.
Bonjour, vous m'entendez bien? Alors, I'm sorry, I'm not very fluent in English, so I will speak in French, but maybe you can translate. It's okay for you, French? Donc, déjà, bienvenue à Paris. Donc, comme on l'a indiqué, je suis la première adjointe au maire du 16e arrondissement. Alors, nous ne sommes pas dans le 16e arrondissement, mais nous sommes quand même dans un très bel arrondissement ici. Et vraiment, merci beaucoup à Nana pour son invitation. Elle m'a demandé de venir parler de l'audace et du courage chez les femmes. Et je vois que vous n'en manquez pas. Alors, juste pour vous raconter un peu mon histoire, moi je ne suis pas originaire du Ghana, mais je suis originaire d'une toute petite île dans l'océan Indien qui s'appelle l'île de la Réunion. Est-ce que quelqu'un connaît l'île de la Réunion? Pas très loin du continent africain, pas très loin de Madagascar, pas très loin de l'île Maurice. Et pour faire ce chemin entre l'île de la Réunion, je suis née en 1978, et c'est aujourd'hui où j'ai l'honneur et la chance d'être première adjointe au maire dans le 16e arrondissement et également conseillère de Paris, il m'a fallu, je pense, du courage, de l'audace, fruit d'une éducation également que j'ai reçue, et c'est pour cela que j'étais très très heureuse d'accepter cette invitation à venir témoigner très humblement devant vous aujourd'hui, parce que je pense que vous avez tous des parcours extrêmement inspirants, des parcours extrêmement audacieux, et je crois malgré tout, en cette veille de journée du 8 mars, que nous devons faire preuve de sororité, fraternité au féminin, de courage et d'entraide. Et c'est ainsi que je suis très heureuse d'être aujourd'hui parmi vous pour vous parler du courage et de l'audace. Alors si je pouvais résumer mon speech en deux parties, moi je dirais aux femmes, si elles ont la chance de vivre dans un pays libre, dans un pays droit, dans un pays où leurs libertés fondamentales et leurs droits fondamentaux ne sont pas menacés, mesdames, mesdemoiselles, je dirais à ma fille, parce que j'ai une fille de 7 ans, je dirais à ma sœur, à mes nièces, deux choses. Premièrement, faites des études. Faites le maximum d'études. Et allez également dans des domaines ou des métiers où on ne vous attend pas. Dans la finance, dans la tech, dans la politique. Moi, je suis la première femme de ma génération à faire de la politique. Ma mère était enseignante, mon père était commerçant. Quand je leur ai dit que je voulais faire de la politique, ils m'ont regardé en disant que c'est pas un métier de femme. Soit fonctionnaire, ou soit institutrice, soit enseignante, ça sera mieux pour les enfants. Eh bien non. Il faut casser les codes. Il faut aller là où on ne nous attend pas. Et il faut aller également dans les métiers où, surtout, c'est le mot que j'allais vous dire, vous allez être indépendante financièrement. Choisissez toujours des métiers où vous ne serez jamais dépendante ni d'un père, ni d'un mari, ni d'un frère, ni de personne. Je pense que vraiment, c'est le message que moi, je répète du matin au soir à ma fille n'a que 7 ans. Mais je lui dis surtout, dès le plus jeune âge, il faut travailler, il faut dépasser ses limites, il faut être indépendant. Ma grand-mère, qui est d'une autre génération, qui n'est plus de ce monde, qui était une femme musulmane, d'origine indienne, originaire de Gujarat, eh bien ma grand-mère, c'est un modèle de courage pour moi parce que c'est la première femme de cette génération, née en 1932, à avoir passé son permis de conduire. Dans cette petite île de la Réunion, je ne sais pas si vous imaginez, hein, peut-être que pour vous, ça paraît abstrait, mais née en 1932, de parents conservateurs, musulmanes, d'origine indienne, parlant français, mais surtout gujarati, ourdou, elle m'a dit, tu vois, moi j'ai passé mon permis, donc tu dois le faire. À l'âge de 18 ans, elle m'a dit, tu vas aller passer ton permis, tu vas faire tes études. Je suis venue à Paris faire une prépa Sciences Po, j'ai fait des études de sciences politiques, j'ai passé mes concours, et aujourd'hui je suis indépendante. Ce qui fait que, quoi qu'il advienne, j'ai mon métier, j'ai mon travail. Et je pense que s'il y a une chose qu'on doit dire aux femmes aujourd'hui, c'est soyez indépendantes. Et je trouve malheureusement que dans cette nouvelle génération, je crois qu'on l'appelle la génération Z, millénium, je sais pas comment on l'appelle, il y a beaucoup de femmes qui finalement se disent « Oh ben ça va, j'ai un mari, tout va bien, non, il faut vraiment, je pense, reprendre les fondamentaux de cette éducation, depuis le plus jeune âge, travailler, avoir un métier, vraiment, et inculquer à nos filles, à nos sœurs, à nos nièces, que l'indépendance financière, c'est la clé de tout. Ça vraiment, je pense que c'est le premier message que je veux vous donner. Bon, j'ai également une pensée pour les femmes dans le monde qui n'ont, elles, même pas la chance de pouvoir étudier. Je pense aux femmes afghanes. Je pense qu'on peut avoir vraiment une pensée pour les malheureuses femmes afghanes et on peut les applaudir. Hein. Les femmes dans tous ces pays du monde, mais je pense en particulier à l'Afghanistan, parce que là-bas, les femmes n'ont même pas la chance de pouvoir aller à l'école. Elles n'ont même plus la chance de pouvoir se parler entre elles. Je pense également aux femmes iraniennes, et dans ces cas, je pense effectivement que nous devons les soutenir, chacune, à notre façon, ici, en manifestant. Moi, je manifeste à chaque fois qu'il y a une manifestation pour les femmes iraniennes. Alors, vous allez me dire, c'est un coup d'épée dans l'eau, parce qu'on est à Paris, mais non, c'est une façon de faire pression sur les gouvernements, sur l'opinion internationale, pour qu'on ne les oublie pas, que ce soit en Iran, que ce soit en Afghanistan, que ce soit dans tous ces pays du monde où les femmes n'ont pas le droit simplement d'aller à l'école. Et pour ces femmes, nous qui avons la chance de pouvoir travailler, étudier, avoir des métiers, on a le devoir d'aller encore plus loin, et donc de faire d'audace. C'est le message vraiment que je voulais livrer.
Oui, merci beaucoup. A bit of what you said. I wish I could translate entirely, but unfortunately I can't. And this is why I'm giving you headsets to fully comprehend. Kindly put it on 2. So I'm told some cannot quite hear the translation. So press the button and let it be on 2. Okay, channel 2. And in that way you can clearly hear what has been shared. Thank you so much for that, Karam, for those words.
Merci.
On va profiter de la présence des Amiens pour poser 3 questions. Donc le public ici, vous pouvez poser une question et si c'est en français, c'est parfait. Et si c'est en anglais, on va les traduire. Donc il y a des gens ici qui veulent poser une question.
So we've got a question from right here on stage. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for your inspiring speech. I would like to know, now that you have it all, what is your dream?
In English or in French?
Merci beaucoup pour le speech, c'est inspirant. Maintenant que vous avez réussi tout, quel est votre rêve?
Alors, j'ai pas du tout réussi, parce que je ne suis que première adjointe au maire du 16e. Bon, je vous laisse deviner la suite. Non, franchement, ça fait, je disais à une amie au premier rang que ça fait 11 ans que je suis une élue parisienne. Je me suis donnée à fond
Et peut-être que dans un an, nous avons des élections municipales. Je ne sais pas si je vais encore me présenter, mais peut-être que je vais aller vers d'autres challenges, d'autres défis, pas forcément dans la politique, peut-être monter une entreprise, créer ma boîte, je ne sais pas. Mais toujours aller encore plus loin et se dire que nous, les femmes, il faut vraiment que, voilà, on ne se mette aucune limite. Alors ça sera peut-être dans politique, ça sera peut-être dans la haute administration, ça sera peut-être dans le domaine de l'entrepreneuriat, je ne sais pas, mais bon, j'ai 46 ans et je me dis que je peux encore aller plus loin.
Merci beaucoup. Est-ce qu'il y a une autre personne qui veut poser une question? Another person here wants to ask something? The public.
So we have a goal of 3 questions. 2 other questions are required from you. Okay, Astrid, we have, please do lift your hand a little higher. Yes, right.
Okay, I'm coming. J'arrive. Okay.
Thank you very much. It's been very inspiring. I think my question to you is that do the other women who are at the rural areas, are they able to relate to you? Are you able to send your message down to them and they'll relate to you? Thank you.
Alors, si j'ai bien compris la question, c'était par rapport aux femmes dans le monde entier, c'est ça, qui sont... c'est ça?
Si tu peux les envoyer un message, quel message tu pourras les partager?
Ah oui, alors s'agissant des femmes iraniennes, des femmes afghanes et de toutes les femmes qui sont opprimées dans le monde, tenez bon. Tenez bon. Il y a des canaux de diffusion, je pense notamment à Hamida Aman, qui a une radio qui s'appelle Radio Begum, que je vous invite, mesdames, à suivre. C'est une dame qui a monté une école à distance pour les femmes afghanes, sur une radio qui s'appelle Radio Begum. Et on devrait toutes s'abonner justement au compte de cette dame et envoyer via ce canal, via cette radio, des messages de soutien à ces femmes afghanes qui n'ont même pas le droit d'aller à l'école. Et donc le message, c'est de leur dire de tenir bon, que nous sommes là, que nous sommes solidaires, que nous sommes dans la sororité et qu'un jour viendra où elles aussi, elles seront libres, elles pourront étudier, elles pourront avoir des métiers, elles pourront passer le permis, elles pourront enseigner à leurs filles la liberté.
Toute petite dernière question.
Bonjour et merci pour votre énergie. Je voulais vous féliciter. Ça donne vraiment envie de, de suivre pareil, de faire comme vous. Et c'est vraiment inspirant, je trouve, comme message. Ma question pour vous, c'est quand je vois toute cette passion qui sort de vous, je voudrais savoir quelle est la chose que vous avez accomplie jusqu'à présent dont vous êtes la plus fière. Et je peux traduire en anglais pour les autres. Just want to say I was really impressed with the energy and the inspiration that she's showing on stage, and it's really oozing and makes you feel like wanting to do something similar. And my question to her, with everything that she has done, what has she achieved that she's the most proud of?
Alors, c'est un peu compliqué de répondre pour une chose, mais moi, on n'a pas parlé de mon mandat parce que c'est pas l'objet, mais concrètement, lorsqu'on est élu local à Paris, enfin élu local dans une ville, on aide les gens au quotidien. On aide les gens à trouver des logements, on aide les gens à trouver leur école, on aide les mamans à trouver des places en crèche. On est vraiment dans l'hyper-proximité. Et ce qui me rend fière, ce qui me rend heureuse, c'est de me dire à la fin de la journée, j'ai été utile. Et c'est ça qui me rend heureuse. Et si dans un an, je ne suis plus élue parce que les gens n'auront pas voté pour moi ou que moi, j'aurais décidé de faire autre chose, eh bien, le bilan que j'aurais retiré, c'est que pendant 12 ans, j'ai été utile à la société, au bien commun, aux personnes, et que j'ai aidé des personnes à avoir leur logement, à avoir dans leur vie, à améliorer leur vie quotidienne. Et c'est ça, je crois, dont je suis le plus fière. Et je pense que c'est l'engagement. J'allais vous dire, mesdames, lancez-vous en politique. Ce métier, c'est pas un métier. Cet engagement, il est aussi fait pour vous. Ce n'est pas uniquement pour les hommes. De toute façon, maintenant, vous savez qu'avec la parité, les femmes ont toute leur place. Mais même, j'allais dire, les femmes françaises issues, entre guillemets, même si j'aime pas ce mot, de la diversité. Oui, moi, je suis d'origine indienne, je suis musulmane, je suis de l'île de la Réunion et je suis élue dans le 16e. Donc, ça prouve bien que quand on bosse, et quand on bosse, c'est les 3 choses. Hein. C'est pas autre chose. C'est vraiment être sérieux, travailler, faire les choses avec cœur, faire les choses à fond, on peut y arriver. Et quand on est élu et qu'on a aidé les gens, parce que c'est ça le mandat d'élu local, hein, quand on a aidé les gens, je pense qu'à la fin de la journée ou à la fin de son mandat, on peut se dire on a été utile et c'est ça pour moi ma plus grande fierté.
Oui. Bravo, merci beaucoup.
Merci à tous et à toutes.
Merci.
Thank you so much, Madame Karam, for those words. Yes, Astrid?
So, yeah. Je pense que tout le monde ici, après l'école, on avait envie d'être quelqu'un. On rêvait d'être quelqu'un. Alors toi, Nathalie, c'était quoi ton rêve après l'école?
Oh, wow. So when I was little, what did I want to do after school? Yes? Well, I was quite confused, I must say, like many young women or others are. But as I said in French, acteur, yes. Danceur, oui. Yeah. But now, I mean, it looks like my path has led to journalism.
So we can invite someone to talk about this.
We can. So that brings us to our next topic. Yes, a very important topic. After school, what next? There's no better person, really, to be handling this other than Mami Gyamfua Yeboah. A round of applause as she prepares to address us now. Mami has quickly grown into a very celebrated entrepreneur in Ghana, co-founder of Oh My Hair and co-founder of Office & Co. Kindly, let's welcome her as she speaks to us about what to do or how to pave our way after school. Mami, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Nasli. I'm going to follow the footsteps of Nanaba. Bonsoir. Muzam Zemeswe. How did I do, Manaba? Listen, we practiced this for weeks. I hope I made her proud. But yeah, bonsoir, Mazam Zemeswe. My name is Mami Gyamfua Yeboah. I am the co-founder of Oh My Hair, Office & Co. and Sewami Hair Foundation. It is truly an honor to stand before such an inspiring audience. I can't stress this enough. I'm so grateful to Nanaba for putting this event. It's such an incredible event, and it is so great for her to put something like this together to put women in a space where we can educate, uplift, and then support each other. And I think Nanaba deserves a round of applause. Let's do that for her. I want to start off by speaking about the power of a dream. But before that, I need to ask a question. I want one person to answer this. What did success look like to you after school? Who can answer this for me, please? Okay, can we pass the mic around?
Hello, everyone. That's a very tough question. After school, success was very bleak for me. After completing my senior secondary school in Akosombo International School, I really hated boarding school. And honestly, I started to play tennis when I was a kid for Ghana, for the country, and that was my dream, that was my goal. But because of school, that didn't happen. So I was like kind of like in the middle and at a standstill. But I think success to me after school was just like harnessing everything that I had in my possession and making the best out of it.
Amazing, well done. Thank you so much. Can we have another person?
Oh, hello, good evening, everyone. To me, success means waking up every day and realizing that you're fulfilling your dreams and goals.
Amazing, well done. Okay, there's a last person.
Okay, so I have a different perspective.
Okay.
After school, for me, success was getting a job.
Right.
In the corporate world, being paid, being able to take care of yourself. That was it years ago. It's changed over the years, but then, after school, that was it. Or that's how it looked like to me. Thank you.
Thank you all for your lovely answers. For my topic says, after school, what next? And so I'm just going to give you a brief backstory about how All My Hair and then the brand Mami Gyamfua came to life. After school, as a young girl, I had dreams. I wanted to be an air hostess. Why? Because I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to see the world because from where I come from, it's hard for you to even travel out of Accra. If you know guys, you know that the guys don't travel. And sometimes even when they are given the opportunity, they would rather not. And so, but I had dreams. I wanted to travel the world, so I wanted to be an air hostess. Fast forward to school. After school, I did my national service at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I was quite fortunate enough to get a job lined up for me. My boss found me very intriguing, and so he got me a job at the Ministry of, the State's Protocol. And I mean, just before I could take the job, I found that I was pregnant. And this is me, a young 22-year-old girl with big dreams, and I was 5 months pregnant. I didn't know what to do. It was too far gone. I couldn't do anything about it. My world was shattered because I had dreams. I didn't want to be where I was or how I grew up. And so it was hard for me, it was tough. But luckily, I had my sister and I had my mom. And my mom would tell me, listen, no matter what happens, we're going to take care of you. And I was very frightened because it's like it was a repeated cycle. It is something that my mom had gone through. My mom was a single mother. She struggled to take care of us. And I didn't want to be like her. I wanted to be more. And that was my fear. But she kept on pushing me and telling me, no, you're going to be great. You're going to be great. And before then, I'd say also that I was modeling for a hair company in the UK. Then Instagram had just started, and as you can see, I like to look good. I mean, those of you that follow me know that Mami Gyamfua will step up. Once you invite me, you know that I'm about to show up and look good. And so luckily for me, I got an ambassadorial deal from a company in the UK, and that was where my hair journey started. After the deal went off, I decided to start the hair. So whilst I was in uni, I was doing my national service. I was still selling hair on the side until then I went to America. And then I looked at my life, and I'm like, listen, I don't have the job offer anymore because the job is not going to sit there and wait for you. It was like a million opportunity for me, and I missed it. And so what am I going to do? Am I going to go back and look for a corporate job? That's not going to happen because it's Ghana. You cannot finish school and get a job easily. And I realized that I had the passion for creativity. I loved doing hair. I loved looking good. And so why don't I take the time to learn how to do hair? And so whilst I was in America, going through all the hormones, I decided to start to train to do hair. I learned how to do hair. I came back to Ghana, and it was time to restore, reset, and re-strategize. And so luckily for me, my beautiful friend here, Andrea, who has been in the hair business for over a decade. Andrea, say hi. She messaged me and said, listen, girl, I'm coming to Ghana with some very, very good hairstylists, and I think you should train with them. And I'm like, yeah, why not? I took the class with her, and then from there, I just started going, and she kept pushing me, you need to do this, do that. So that's how my hair journey started, as making wigs. Mind you, I'd been selling hair for 2 years, but then I started making wigs, and my fear of losing out in life, of failing, kept pushing me. And so I wouldn't say no to clients. You could call Mami Gyamfua at 2 a.m. that you need hair, and I'll say, yeah, I'll do it for you, just because I didn't want to fail. And remember, after school, there's this societal expectations where you're supposed to get a job. After some time, you get married, start a family. And listen, my dad was a typical Ashanti man. You know how they are. They are on your neck. Why did you go to school and you're selling hair? Why are you not getting married? The pressure was on me. And so it got to a point that I wouldn't even speak to him when he calls me. Because when he calls me, he's like, you finished university just to come and sell hair. You finished university just to come and be a hairstylist. And it was so degrading, But I wanted to challenge the idea that you can only be successful through a corporate job, or you can only be successful through the traditional work, like being a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. No, there is a lot of money in beauty. There's wealth in creativity. Ghana is projected to make $2 billion in the beauty industry. And I am so proud to say that Mami Gyamfua, being the owner of All My Hair, contributes to this GDP. And it's just so beautiful for me. Thank you. Thank you. And I mean, years down the line, I'm struggling, I'm working, I'm doing this all by myself. I'm doing hair, I'm doing stock taking, I'm making wigs, I'm doing sourcing, I'm doing customer service, everything by myself in my one little bedroom. And those who know me from way back will know that you could come to my house and come to my bedroom and get an install. And then my friend, someone like Sandra, I'll drive to her house with her hair in the trunk of my car and then do her hair for her at odd hours. But I had the vision, you know? I had the vision and I knew what I was looking for. And so I went for it. A few years down, no, not a few years down, the months down the line, I started struggling. I got so sick, I had anxiety disorder because I couldn't say no to clients. So there were times that I'll be asleep, then I'll just wake up in the middle of the night scared, like I had something to do, but I didn't have anything to do. My system was just used to the fact that I cannot sleep because there's work for me to do. Why are you sleeping when there's work for you to do? You know, so I took a break and I decided, listen, this is the point where I need to grow. I need to expand the business. I need to get out of the fear where I think that people can do the job like I would do it. But growth is important in business. As an entrepreneur, you need growth. And I had to come to terms with that. And so, yes, I opened my first salon and it was the best decision I ever made. Those of you that have been to my salon, I'm so happy to see some of my clients here. She's an international client of mine. And she came to me and said, oh, there was no one to do my hair. And I said, no, babe, you look fine. So yeah, anytime you're in Ghana, please do pass by All My Hair, okay? Even you. And yeah, All My Hair has been in existence for over a decade. And we keep growing and growing and growing. And I'm looking back at myself and thinking of the little girl at Labadi that lived in a compound house that did not know that there was a way for her to be in Paris speaking in front of such important people. You know, I'm just so proud of myself. And I said my theme was the power of a dream. And so I just wanted to tell everyone that you need to dream big. Don't let the area, your surroundings limit you. Because if I had done that, thinking that I live in Labadi, how do the people around me can't even go to university. But I thought big. I wanted to travel around the world. And look at me now. By the grace of God and hard work, consistency, I am standing in front of you guys in Paris. This is a big deal, guys. And yeah, and so I'm very, very happy to be here. And I'll say what my advice to you will be that success is not about what you studied, but it's about what you do with what you know. And so 5 years from now, look at yourself that you've built something because you didn't sleep on the idea that you have. You didn't sleep on your dream. You put work into it because you came to Women of Valour and Mami Gyamfua told you that don't sleep on your dreams. No matter what it is, you could be working for somebody, but you can also do something on the side because let me tell you something, it is good to serve. It is very good to serve. You can't just get up. This is the problem with our generation is that we don't like to serve. We always want to get up and be on top. But it doesn't work like that. You need to learn under somebody as a lead to be able to be a leader because you have to have been in their shoes to understand how they feel to be able to rule them. And so I'm not saying quit your job today, but I'm saying that whatever you have in your head that is a dream of yours that you feel like this is what I want to do, but you don't have the courage to do it because you think that it's too much risk, start now. And don't be scared to start small. Because listen, every step counts. And like they always say, little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. So start now. I want to come back here next year, maybe in London, in Singapore, somewhere, and then you walk up to me and tell me, Mami Gyamfua, I started this business or I worked up on this dream because you said so. And I'm so happy that I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Can we take 2 questions, if you'd like to ask a question or 2?
Thank you for this amazing speech. You know, in Ghana, it's very difficult for people to follow business like you're saying. We actually don't teach that. So what is All My Hair and your group of companies doing to ensure that you can make a change in a society where everybody believes that becoming a doctor, lawyer, following these traditional roles or jobs, which in itself is not a bad thing, but how are we going to influence that? Because it's such a big problem in Ghana right now.
Well, thank you. It's funny that you said that because Andrew and I were discussing this last night. We were talking about that there are no structures to help people when they want to start businesses, especially in Ghana. But doing this is something that, because I was very nervous. Nanaba forced me to do this, but she was telling me that your story needs to be heard. People don't know where you come from. They're just seeing you, and then they think you made it. They think you are just spoon-fed into where you are, but you actually have a story. And so I believe going to events like this and then giving people hope, and if you're close to me, you know that I like to empower people that are by me. For me, when I ask the question about success, I think success is about how you impact in someone's life. And so people close to me, all my staff, they know that once you come to All My Hair is elevation. You're not going to go down. And I always say to them, when you leave All My Hair, you're not going to go back to some kiosk to work, or you're not going to stay at home. You're going up from here. And so back to your question, I think that we need to educate people more, but I do in the listless way I can. For example, about 2 months ago, UNAIDS sent about 40 students to me that they're training for vocational skills, and I gave them a tour through my facility, and then I offered to train and accommodate about 5 of them, just, to uplift them, so they know that you cannot just do hair and sit at home and be the normal hairdresser that people look down on, like, oh, you're a hairdresser. But no, you can actually come to All My Hair and start getting paid well because you're doing a good job. And yeah, I think that in the littlest way that I can, this is what I'm doing. I hope I answered your question well. Thank you. Do we have another question?
Thank you so much, Mami. Your story is so inspiring.
Thank you.
I'm also starting, well, I'm not too new, but I'm not where you are yet.
Get there.
I'm in the beauty industry too, and I'm facing a problem. I'm hoping that I can use this opportunity to get a pointer or two from you.
Of course.
My issue here is anytime I'm away from my business, I sort of have a lot of fear as to whether it can stand. You made a statement that you have to be able to grow so that your business can run even in your absence. That is my problem now. What can you say to help me?
I think build structures. Because for you to be able to grow, your business must thrive without you. And so the moment you start to feel like when you're not there, the business is not moving, then that's a problem, as you're saying. So build structures. If you need to hire someone, hire a manager that is competent, that you know will think like you. Because you cannot hire somebody that doesn't have the vision or mindset like that you do. So hire somebody, if you need to, that will think like the boss that you are, that will carry the business like it's theirs. Those are the people that you know that can run the business for you. That's why you're paying them to run the business for you, so you can be away and do other things. Because as a CEO of a hair company, I don't want to be on shop floor all the time doing people's hair. I need time for myself to create other things, to expand and do other things outside of hair, because we want to make money as women. We want to be independent. And so, yes, build structures that will sustain your business even when you're not around. I'm always around for more advice. Thank you. Will that be all?
No.
Okay.
That was a lovely presentation, Mami. Now, my question to you is, what do you say to people that simply cannot multitask? Myself being an example. We are in an industry that is literally draining. Journalism, it is not a joke. Your time is literally spent in the field. We want to do other things on the side, but multitasking has posed us a challenge. What would you say to somebody like myself?
I think it's okay. Don't put too much on yourself. When the timing is right, you can do it. There is not everybody that can do it. Like you said, you've tried and you can't do it because your job is very, very demanding. So it's okay. You'll get to a point in life where you feel like, no, I don't think I can work for someone again. I think I should do something on my own. And at that point is where you have the audacity of courage to move on. Natalie, would that be all? Do I need more questions?
sure there are many other questions, maybe up in the minds of some of our guests, but we'll have the opportunity to further engage Mami. Mami, thank you so much. Your story is
Thank you for having me.
truly inspiring, and we celebrate you. You're doing remarkable work, changing the narrative, right? Thank you so much for sharing. Another round of applause, please, for Mami. Now, our other woman of valor, the quintessential lady, we call her the quintessential lady herself, Sika Goka, founder of SG Etiquette Consulting. A round of applause for her, please. And Sika is going to be speaking to us about etiquette, about the importance of etiquette, and simply put, about the 21st century lady. Yes?
On invite Sika qui va nous montrer, enfin, va nous parler de son parcours et va nous raconter un peu de son métier, que c'est des coachs en étiquette et savoir-vivre. Donc Sika, bienvenue, ton public t'attend.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Bonjour. It's great to be in France. Even better to be in Paris, such a beautiful city. Anyone who knows me, my name is Sika Goka. I'm a hospitality consultant as well as an etiquette coach. And I have been part of the Women of Valour brand for the last 3 years. So naturally, when Anamoah invited me back again to Paris, I jumped at the chance to be in this vibrant and beautiful city. So as it was just mentioned, I will be speaking about being a lady. You heard Natalie refer to me as a quintessential lady, and that is about one of the classes that I actually teach. I like everything traditional and everything quintessential. But this year, you know, I wanted to tie it to what the 21st century lady really, really looks like and the embodiment of that. So in order to talk about that, I thought that we should really just sort of understand what the 21st century represents, what are the things that have changed, so that we could look at the evolution of a lady from where she began and where she is today. So when I think about the 21st century, I think about things like environmental awareness. We now have information that tells us about climate change and how that's affecting us today. We also think about sustainability and how we should really be looking after the environment that we have been blessed to be in so that we can protect it for future generations. I also sometimes think about the cultural shifts that are happening. For instance, there's been a huge social movement when we think about human rights. When we talk about the rights of women, when we talk about race rights, when we talk about gender inequality, when it comes to pay and those sorts of things. And we have so much more information about that. We also have now and also recognize that there are diverse identities and that in our every single day lives that we should be mindful about the things that people are going through. The other thing I think about also is globalization of the world. We have now become so interconnected thanks to things like social media. We also have an awareness of what's going on in other parts of the world, and we can relate to it without ever having flown over there. We have so much more information at our fingertips. But most significantly, I think that there has been technological innovation that has brought us so much information, but made life so much easier. When we think about things like artificial intelligence and biotechnology, we're rapidly growing, we're rapidly changing, but we have access to information that can seriously impact us. When I was thinking about what Mami said, you know, positioning yourself, how you use social media to create awareness. These are the things that we should be thinking about to enable us to be able to push forward in this new 21st century. So then naturally, it takes me back to what really is a lady. Well, if we think about the traditional lady, I'm sure we all associate her with meekness, gentility. She's probably well-dressed. She's got good interpersonal skills. She's likable, very, very personable. And just like the modern lady, they have certain things in common that haven't really changed. For instance, they are always ready and prepared. Now, the previous lady, probably from the 20th century, was being groomed for a special role. A lot of the time, she probably knew how to speak more than one language. She may have even learned how to play an instrument. And she was very, very good with being able to have conversations because she was well-read. Now, that hasn't really changed, but her role and the reason for her preparedness was probably because she was getting ready to be somebody's wife and a mother. Still a very significant role today, probably one of the most significant roles any woman would play, to be a wife and a mother, but that's really where the dream sort of ended. In the modern world, in the 21st century, the lady is preparing herself for a type of independence. I'm sure that's what we all think about when we think about 21st century woman, independence. Not the type of independence that says we don't need men or that we are some ultra-feminists, but more about the fact that we're independent in our minds, in the way that we think. We're able to earn our own money. We're able to rise to the top in our businesses, in our industries. We're able to be CEOs and hold very, very significant roles in commerce and even as entrepreneurs. Lastly, the modern lady, just like the previous lady, will do things. She's constantly updating herself, whether she's putting her resources into learning. She's going to university, she's joining courses, she's learning how to position herself to be ready for whatever opportunities may come. And so that's what I think about the connection between the previous lady. We did the same things, we had good interpersonal skills, but we were focused on a different goal, ultimately. So, what did the 21st century give us that the modern lady can use? Well, one of the main things that I think has come out of innovation is social media. The difference is that the 21st century lady knows that she should use social media, but she should not be used by it. And what do I mean by that? Well, we got to think about the contents that we put out there. It's very, very important to use this tool to reach new audiences that we would normally not be able to attract and be able to reach. So we should use it, especially when we're entrepreneurs, to find people, to let them know about the products and services that we offer. But what we should always do is be circumspect about the content that we put online. The 21st century lady knows that there is such a thing as a digital footprint. So what you put down is always going to be there, even if you think you've deleted it. And what if you wanted to be a mayor one day of a huge city like this, or even, you know, a president or a prime minister? Everything that you do stays, and it's what people will use to judge you. So you have to allow yourself to be very, very intentional about the content that you put out there. And that's what a 21st century lady does. She uses it to her own advantage, but she will dictate what she puts up there, so that she's creating the narrative of what she wants people to resonate with when it comes to any idea about her. The other thing about the 21st century lady is that she's great at using her network to build herself up. Once again, she's extremely intentional about the sorts of things that she does in her spare time and the people that she associates herself with. Because of social media, once again, she's able to reach an audience that goes way beyond her environs. But she's able to make connections that will allow her to propel herself. She thinks about people and she sees how she can align herself with knowledge and innovation and help and advancement. She's not sitting down in circles, gossiping with her friends, but she's constantly thinking about being ready for the next opportunity. She's extremely adept at making friends, and she's extremely well-read, so she's able to have good conversations with people from all over the world because she's paying attention to everything. Even down to the environment, she does her little bit. Whether she's extremely circumspect about some of the brands that she even associates herself with, the things that she chooses to buy, the sort of makeup that she chooses to put on. She would always want to align herself with a company that thinks about the environment, even when it comes to drinking coffee. So she'll also do little things in her house, recycle, reuse, rather than constantly be acquiring things and creating rubbish. She's thinking about the environment. So the modern lady, the 21st century lady, is extremely goal-oriented. She also has independence of mind. She doesn't just follow the flock. She thinks about the information that's going to go in her head and how she can impart good information to other people as well. She's constantly on a journey of improving herself with education and just aligning herself with the right people who will open the right doors for her. When I think about every single one of the panelists here, I think about the 21st century lady. I was very inspired by your story, Mami, and I'm sure we're going to hear more from the rest of the panelists today. When I think about the 21st century lady, I think about somebody who has the audacity of courage, the audacity to dream big, the audacity to fight in face of adversity, the audacity to be able to push and have your voice heard, even when people are saying that you cannot do something, to have that inner self-belief. And that's what we're all about here today. So I just want to take this opportunity to encourage us all once again and to think about our futures. You know, the idea of being a lady, it isn't an archaic notion. Yes, it's nice to know how to walk, how to sit, how to do all of those things, but being able to build a personal brand that people will respect and admire is also truly inspiring. And being able to impart knowledge and just be kind to people. So many people are facing so many challenges today, especially with mental health, and having awareness of people's struggles and being able to give them a sympathetic ear and to engage them with compassion is also truly the mark of a 21st century lady. Thank you.
I love what you said. Be intentional, right? Particularly on social media. It's a footprint, right? Thank you so much, Sika, for sharing. So we're going to take 3 questions from anyone in the audience. So please be bold and courageous if you have a question. Oh, we've got a lot more questions than... Yes? Mami has a question? Okay, Mami, please hold on your question. I'll come to you as the last. Okay, let me start here. It's always lovely to see men with us as well. Here you go.
All right, thank you. My name is Kobe, so I'm a blogger from Ghana, and I literally live my life on social media. So the point where you mentioned about the digital footprint caught my attention. Now I want to know, I don't know the system here in Europe or in Paris. I don't know whether social media has been introduced in schools, but it's something that we are still fighting back home in Ghana. I mean, in your capacity, how do we train young girls to actually take social media serious? Are you going to have seminars, workshops, especially with the young girls coming up? Because these days when you go on TikTok, on Instagram, you see young girls posting, and it is so heartbreaking. You know, so in your capacity, what will you do? Because you see the men dressing very well on social media, but the girls is the opposite. What can we do to actually educate these young girls to know that what they are doing, they are actually documenting their life? Thank you.
That's a great question. And I would answer that by saying it's something that I've already started doing. I run workshops for the youth as well. So naturally, during those workshops, we touch up on social media, and I relate it very, very much to the audience. So we talk about the things that are really bothering the teenagers, the young people, the girls and the boys, and we find ways about teaching them how to use social media responsibly. Of course, they're born in a time when social media was there. We are a generation that has come from no social media but are learning how to use it. So you're right in saying that it's a huge problem because they're not really aware of the effects. It's going to be 20, 30 years down the line that they really realize that, oh, I shouldn't have done this. And I always tell my audience, you know, these days, you can go for interviews, you can prepare a CV, but people are really not interested in that because all they have to do is go to your social media page to find out who you really are. So if you've decided today that you are holier than thou, but you are following, you know, accounts that they were citing racism or you were, you know, anti-men, whatever it is, and posting and writing horrible comments, all of those things that you used to do will come back to haunt you and people will judge you by that. So it's about trying to relate the message to the audience at the time and giving them examples as we go through our workshops. But it's something that started, and it's something that I will definitely continue because it's something that's extremely important to me.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Sika. We've got two questions, yes, from this lane. Okay.
Hi, Sika. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
I loved that phrase of your presentation when you said you're grooming consequential women or ladies, not those who think they don't need men. I'm a public health practitioner, and I know that in recent times, we're grooming a generation where we are going to have a public health and a social justice concern. There's a very big complexity being that kind of woman of valor and keeping a family. From our African setting, it takes deep intentionality to blend the two. When you're grooming women, is there any particular concern to this? Because the family or relationship bond is where society starts. The divorce, the separation don't affect the children. The drama does. How are we going to do those two? Because I don't want to be part of that policymakers in 20 years to deal with that stress. I know I will get there. So I want us to start solving it today so that by then it will be a lesser burden to handle. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I would start by saying that if you've ever come to any of my classes, what's always at the base of everything that we do is respect. And so that respect, not just for yourself, but to other people. Personally, I just don't understand the mind that doesn't appreciate that, you know, men and women, we literally make up 50% of the population each. And therefore, we cannot do without the other. Okay, it doesn't matter about being in the modern age that, yes, we can earn our own money, we can do so many things, but we're nothing without our men. We balance each other out. And there are certain things that men can do, and there are other things that women can do. You know, it's a fusion, and it works best when we do things together. Of course, people will have the choice whether they want to get married, whether they want to procreate, and that's a personal choice, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, even if you never get married, even if you never have children, you are probably supporting some young boy or girl in another way, whether it's nieces and nephews, whether it's students that you come across, anybody that may go to your church, some of your clients, your customers. So whatever it is, we are always being able to influence the next generation. And I think that we should do our bit. We cannot insist that everybody think like us, because people have their independent minds for a reason. But all we can do is show people through our own actions the benefits of having a balanced life. And if that for some people is to, you know, procreate, marry, and, you know, live side by side with the other sex, then that's what we'll do, and we'll do it in a respectful way. And if somebody chooses not to, we will not judge them harshly either, and we will not ostracize them from society, but we will welcome them with love and respect as normal. Yeah.
So hello everyone again. I'm Elizabeth Anamoah, a reproductive health advocate and author. It's all good that you're talking about, you know, the sources and how you're encouraging young people. But I feel like we haven't really touched on identity. What defines you? What makes you think like you were born unique and you have a journey and you have a story? Mami's story is different from, I'm sure, the other panelists. So could you identify that how can a young lady who wants to achieve her dreams or goals, or she thinks her purpose, how can she find who she is? How can she then fulfill her identity?
Okay, that's a good question. But it's also a very complex question to answer, because I cannot stand or be in everybody's mind, you know? All we can really do is represent what we feel is our true and our authentic self. Everybody here has gone through their own journey, and like you said, nobody else's journey is going to be exactly the same. But as, you know, custodians of this planet, as fellow women, all we can really do is stand in the gap and give people the alternative. However, you know, it was mentioned earlier that it's going to take everybody to realize their true self at different times. You know, I have had a change of career several times, and I feel like I finally found the thing that truly gives me passion and something that I'm genuinely good at. And I would do it for free. I would do it, you know, without having sleep the night before, because I love the interpersonal nature of what I do. But it's something that I learned much, much older in life, you know. So I think that we have to allow people to be. And I think that we also have to step back from social media, because sometimes what we actually see out there isn't the truth. It's not the reality, you know. It's very curated for the moment. And as much as people are making a killing on social media, that's another wonderful thing about it. You know, you have people like influencers, you have in real time, what do you call it, streaming, but the reality of it is that most people's lives do not look like that. So all we can do is gather the people around us and have conversations with them, always have like an open door, always be willing to speak, volunteer, and being able to reach a new audience. And I believe that that is what we should all do as responsible human beings, to tell the truth, that there is, you know, a less glamorous side than what we see on TV, and sometimes it takes us a little while to walk that journey, but step by step, and eventually with some words of affirmation and self-belief, we can achieve exactly what we want to achieve. Thank you.
Sika Goka, thank you so much. It's always such an inspiration listening to you.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Our next Woman of Valour. That is in the person of, would you like to go ahead? Tucci Goka is going to be speaking to us. And Tucci serves as the Chief Executive Officer and founding member of the Ghana Commodity Exchange, the creator of Smarter Leadership podcast, a very interesting podcast that I've recently started watching. Tucci, please do come up. She's going to be speaking to us about personal lessons from leading in business and industry. A round of applause for her, please.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone. Bonsoir à tout le monde. So I'm going to start by just telling you a little bit about myself, my career, because when Nanaba asked me to speak, I heard that the theme was the audacity of courage. And I started to really wonder what courage looked like for me and what it meant to me. My career has been marked by many different moves. Within, let's say, maybe 3 companies, I was with a multinational for more than 15 years, and I had maybe 10 to 12 roles. It means that I kept changing roles, and I was moving up very quickly in my career. So I've been in senior leadership positions for many, many years. For the last 7 years, I've been with the Ghana Commodity Exchange, which I helped to set up on the invitation of the government of Ghana. So it's been a journey. So I started to think about courage. And when I thought about the different roles I had, I realized that it had to do with the audacity to say yes every single time I was asked to take on a new role. So every role I held within this multinational, it was a tough one. They either asked me to start a new business from scratch, or they would send me somewhere to go and literally fix a business that was broken. And those were not easy tasks. I never actually had one job where I could just say, oh yes, I'm in there and the results are good, it's going well. So I had the audacity to say yes when other people wouldn't, and then I would push to get the results, and every time that's what was continuing to propel me. So it really got me thinking. And so this evening I'm going to share one story out of many, and I'm calling it A Year of Quiet Courage, from September 2013 to August 2014. I received a phone call in 2013. And this phone call was one of my bosses asking me to leave Indonesia, Jakarta, one of the world's largest cities, and move to Conakry in Guinea, one of the smallest. And it seemed like a really bizarre move, you know? Some people jokingly asked me, and some, I believe not so jokingly, asked if I was being demoted. Remember, I said I kept getting calls to take on some, series of tough challenges. So I said, okay, what's this one about? So the business I was being sent to lead was literally on the brink of collapse. Morale was low, uncertainty was high, but I believed that despite the weight of this responsibility, I could make an impact. I had a feeling I wouldn't be there for more than 1 year, but I felt that I would learn a lot and it would actually add to my experience and to my story and to resilience, because honestly, you cannot become a leader without going through knocks and having to build your resilience. So I said, okay, I'm ready for it. So we started in September. I arrived in my new country, in my small city there. I went into the office and I saw, the whole team was there, like a big reception waiting to meet me. And I could see the fear on everyone's face. Honestly, it was palpable. Nobody knew if I was being sent there to lay them off. That was the impression, in fact, that someone has been sent to come lay us off, close the business. So it was tough. I had to muster every ounce of positivity because it really wasn't a happy story to deliver some opening remarks that sought to build trust, sought to, build hope amongst the team, and it was tough. I also had to find courage. Je dû trouver le courage de parler en français, une langue qui n'était pas la mienne. And imagine, this is not my language. I studied it, but now I'm going to deliver hard news and try to build hope at the same time in another language. So this was day one. That very afternoon, that same day one, I had to sit with an older gentleman. He could have been my grandfather, or at least my father, and I had to discuss his layoff with him, one gentleman. So, sitting across from him to discuss the terms of his exit package really was a leadership moment that has remained etched in my mind. It was defining for me because I realized that leadership, that day I realized leadership is about humanity as well, and it's about treating people with dignity, So this was day one, lessons on day one. So remember, this was September. Now, by October, we started to receive SMS alerts from the government. They kept sending these messages. There's a mysterious disease that is killing people. They didn't yet know what it was, but there was this, so we just had to watch out and be careful. At the same time, in the country, there was socio-economic unrest. So almost on a daily basis, cars were being burned in the streets. You'd go out and see another car burned. Markets were closed down 3 days in a week at least, so you could barely sell any products. And remember, I was sent to this country to fix a problem for the company, and we couldn't sell products. Markets closed, cars burning. So we kept on trudging on. We had to lay low for some time. I think it was around December, the disease was identified as Ebola. So this was the first time that, those of us in the country and a couple of neighboring countries had heard of any such thing. And, some people around the world started hearing about this Ebola, but we didn't know how to manage it. It was new. Today, I think everyone in this room has been through a global pandemic that was COVID-19, and you know how difficult it was for everyone. But back then, Ebola was the first, and it was only in a few countries, and we were there, and I was sent to lead this team. So how are we going to navigate it? Now, as if that alone was not bad, because remember, the nation now was in crisis, and no one knew what to do. So leadership at that time really just became about, acknowledging your own fear, being sincere as a leader and saying, I also don't know what's going to happen, but we will get through it together. The nation was in crisis. It was difficult for everyone. But then within our team, we had an internal tragedy. One of our team members who, I became particularly fond of, he was a young guy and he had so much potential. He was in his early 20s. He had a wife and, young kids. He died, not of Ebola, but it was like a cruel twist of fate because he had a medical background and he was the one advising everyone in the team, to take precautionary measures. We even won an award for being one of the companies that took the, biggest safety measures. We lost no lives, and he died. It was actually raw, the grief, it was traumatizing. The day the news broke, I walked into the office, and I kid you not, adults, all the team, grown men, grown women, they were weeping loudly. They couldn't contain themselves, And I honestly wanted to break down too at that point because of what we'd been through with this, young gentleman, but I couldn't. I had to hold up and, really be there for my team and lead them through it. So this was another little chapter. It was in February, I received a phone call, and this was really personal devastation. someone who I was very close to. He had been, a big part of my life, and someone who had walked with me during a very important, period of my journey. He passed away, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, the news was delivered by people that I was close to, my family, his family, but I was still in denial. I was like, no, he cannot be gone. So I would call them to ask, are you sure, is he around? I'd call his phone, though I knew it was true, but I really, I didn't want to accept it. Meanwhile, my team was relying on me day by day to lift them up, to hold their hands, and to see them through this tragedy. So I had to pick myself up and continue as usual. Then, due to company policy, we had a policy that as an expatriate, if you're in a high-risk zone, you have to be expatriated, because at this point, no one knew what was going to happen. Lives would be lost, and you couldn't be there if it wasn't your home country. That, for me, was really tough, leaving the country at that time. One thing that happened before I left, I was expatriated to Senegal, so I was managing the company from out of another company. But before I left, we had the funeral. I think there are many Africans or people of African descent in this room. You'll know that in Africa, going to a funeral to support loved ones, it's not just a tradition, it's a duty. You have to be there. So my team was insistent that we go. But we were told that no, funerals are one of the worst places to attend during the crisis because of the close contact and exchange of bodily fluids. This is where, you're at highest risk of catching Ebola. They insisted. I had to make a call. So I decided, okay, we'll go together as a team, but we wouldn't stay long. No handshakes, no sitting in the midst of the crowd. We'd gather together, we'd pay our respects to the family, and then we would go. Everyone agreed except for one employee who went to the burial site. I had to let that employee go because it was a tough decision to make due to the circumstances, but literally when lives are at stake, you have to take decisions that protect your employees. So I had to do that to protect the rest of the staff. So now I'm in Guinea, coordinating with the team, managing them. Things are going okay. We were not having, any other tragedies. April 2014, I moved back to Ghana. Well, I say I moved. I traveled to Ghana to go get married to a wonderful, supportive, loving man. And this was one bright spot amidst all the challenges. Meanwhile, back in Guinea, a process that we had started, we had unfair competition. So this is one of the reasons the business was in dire straits. So we worked together with the security agencies to apprehend all these counterfeiters and people who were destroying the business. People were literally sent to jail. And I earned a reputation for being a tough leader. I'd go into government ministries, and I became very well known for being somebody who goes for what they need to, does what is right, and fights for the business. So this is all happening. This is all within the 12 wonderful months. There are so many lessons, throughout the way. One thing that I would say, and remember I started by sharing that I had always said yes when I was asked to take on a challenge. So, June, we started to see some rebound in the business. Remember, we had markets closing down, we could barely sell. We had unfair competition. We had Ebola. We had socioeconomic unrest. Everything that could go wrong. But by some miracle, we were still growing month on month, slowly but making an impact. By around June, the tide began to turn. And in June of 2014, we actually moved into a new office. This signaled that the business was on a rebound. Fantastic. By August, we had moved from a position of loss to break even, and we were really in a good place. So I started with a phone call asking me to move to Guinea. In August, I received another phone call, this time with another promotion, but it was to a role called Business Executive Manager or Business Executive Officer. This is one of the highest roles, and it earns you shares in the company. And I'd say that year in Guinea did a lot, but it was a series of every, time I was asked to take on a challenge, taking it, on boldly, doing everything I could do to make it work. I gave everything 100% every single time. So you could say that it was as a result of my audacity of courage to say yes. And to this day, I still find myself saying yes. I have so many other stories, but they're for another occasion. But one thing I will say that ran through all of these is that I have very deep faith in God. So I've never felt alone. Every time I've said yes to something, I felt that, well, I knew that I wasn't alone and God would see me through. So that made it a bit easier. So maybe if you'll permit me, I'll share 3 lessons from this year of courage. So one is that courage is the audacity to go against everything you've ever known. It means shattering the confines of complacency. When the familiar keeps telling you to stay where you are, you don't listen to it. 2, courage is the audacity to stare fear in the face and say to it, try me. It's not the absence of fear, but the bold resolve to march into the storm, knowing that every scar is a testament to your strength and your resilience. And courage is the audacity to go against the grain and stand by the resolve to always do what is right. It's standing by your principles, making the hard choices, even when it isolates you, because sometimes you will be alone. You won't have friends on that journey, but you let your truth shine in every single situation. So this year in Guinea, looking back, it really wasn't just about surviving a difficult year. It was about understanding the different colors of courage. Nanaba said it in her opening speech. Courage is not always loud or heroic. Sometimes it's quiet. You know, it's being there for someone who is grieving, even when you have a million other things on your plate. It's showing up to work, even when everything is going against you. And sometimes it's really about believing in yourself, even when you're experiencing self-doubt. As you reflect on your journey, what does courage look like for you today? Is it about stepping into the unknown? Trying something new? Is it about standing up for what is right? Or is it, as Mami shared, taking the first step to fulfill a dream? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Courage involves trusting the process. You know, life's detours often lead to growth that you could never have imagined. And sometimes by just following that path, you will find your purpose. So courage is transformative. It turns ordinary people into extraordinary change makers. The last word I just want to leave with all of us today is that we should have the audacity of courage to say yes today and every day. Thank you very much. So I stay here for any questions.
On va poser quelques questions, quelques petites questions. Si quelqu'un veut poser une question, OK. Few questions, just raise your hand.
Hi. In your opening statement, you said that you always said yes. Do you or did you used to say yes because you felt the need to overcompensate? Because you just found yourself in where you were? And why are you still saying yes, looking at where you are now?
Great. So it was actually the advice from one of the leaders I had. He shared with me one day that you shouldn't turn down opportunities. At least don't be fast to turn down opportunities. If you're offered something, take your time, think about it, because in his experience and in many other people's experience, it's those opportunities that ended up really enriching their lives. In fact, sometimes when I was asked, I ended up saying yes, but sometimes I'd start by saying no. So remember I shared a story that I came from Indonesia to Guinea. When I was first asked to go to Indonesia, my first thought was, no, I mean, why now? Why? You know, I want to be in Africa. Maybe it's time to start thinking about settling down. And so I said no. Then I was called by executive directors from the head office, I mean, a global organization, and to have that level of people call me directly to get me to think about it was something pretty important and special. Thankfully, I was given a call in December, and I was asked to speak at the time to the market head for Indonesia. And, he said I should think about it. Luckily, because it was a holiday coming up, I had a few weeks. So I really thought, I took my time to think and to pray about it, meditate on it. And then I got what I felt was a nod to go ahead. Like I said, I always go with God. So I was, led to go. And I can tell you that was one of the richest and most fulfilling experiences of my life. Something I didn't want to do, but I ended up meeting some of the best people I'd ever met in the world, worked with the best people, and to this day, we still have very close connections. So experiences like that showed me that I shouldn't always be quick to say no. Where you think, there's no hope or something, that literally might be what, takes you there. But then it also became about challenge, because you're working, you're learning, you're growing. When a new challenge is thrown at you, why are you going to be quick to say no? Because what a challenge does, it stretches you. And honestly, one of my personal values is about growth. Personal growth, but also the growth of others. And it's why I spend so much time with people, mentoring and things like that. So you're only going to grow by actually taking on challenges. So no, there's nothing about compensation or overcompensation, because every role I took, the reason I was given another challenge is because I took that role so seriously that I would attain the results. Not once in my career was I thinking about the ladder and what's the next step and I'm going to do this role. Never. I was there enjoying, pushing to get the results. The results would come. I'd get a call. Tucci, can you go and do this? So yes, that was my focus. It was doing the job, doing it well, and enjoying it. Because when you enjoy it, I think you do it better. Thank you.
Hello, Tucci.
Hi.
My name is Jacqueline.
Hi, Jacqueline. We exchanged contacts during the break, so you see we were doing the networking thing.
Yes. We're very productive at that. Merci beaucoup pour votre intervention. Ça m'a marqué. And let me switch back to English. So my question is, you've made a lot of moves throughout your career, and being from Ghana, obviously, as a woman traveling a lot, you might have heard one or two advice to stay put and whatnot. So how do you deal with that? Like, what's the inner compass, or what's your raison d'être that keeps you centered, such that when dissenting voices are kind of drowning you, how do you stay there, stay the path, basically?
I think I've honestly been very fortunate to have an extremely supportive family. And when they see that you're doing something and you're doing it well and you're so successful at it, the voices actually, I was barely getting any voices. I got married much later in life than traditionally, and I decided to do it in my time when I was ready. I wasn't in a hurry. Not that I didn't like or respect marriage. Actually, when I was younger, in my head, I had 6 children running around me. I didn't even think about the career, So in the end, I had 6 godchildren, but none of my own yet. I do now, but that came much later, in life. So it was really about having that network of people who believed in what I was doing, and they always supported me to the point where even when I then did decide to settle down, I knew myself. I was mature enough. Same thing with my husband. He knew himself, and he was ready to, hold my hand and support me along the way. So really it's about having a few people. It doesn't have to be everyone. There will be people who won't support you, but having those few people who will actually say, yes, you're doing the right thing, or if this is what you think is right, I will go with you. But honestly, I've been blessed not just to have people who say, if you think this is right, they actually say, hey, why don't you do this? That's how much they believe in me. They actually push me when sometimes I'm even ready to relax. So yes, having supportive people is really important.
So we will have the last question, and then you have the networking to make more questions, okay?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sonia Marty Sokouri. I'm private chef. So from now, I will switch in French, which is actually my mother tongue. Okay. Merci beaucoup déjà à Nana de m'avoir conviée à cet événement. Donc j'ai hâte de rencontrer chacune des personnes ici. La thématique de cette cette rencontre, c'est l'audace. Alors, il y a 3 ans, moi, j'ai fait une reconversion professionnelle avec beaucoup d'audace. Depuis, je suis devenue chef. Et en même temps qu'on nous parle d'audace, moi, je me heurte aussi parfois à un sentiment de vouloir aller trop vite et même parfois de prendre la place de ceux qui sont là depuis très longtemps. Le métier que je fais en particulier est très difficile. Il faut gravir les échelons tout doucement. Et voilà, donc ma question c'est concrètement, comment est-ce qu'on dose finalement cette audace? Comment est-ce qu'on doit agir de manière à ne pas avoir je dirais plutôt donner l'impression qu'on est presque arrogant, vous voyez, quand on veut y aller. Parce que moi, par exemple, j'ai beaucoup d'audace et je n'ai aucune limite, en tout cas, je m'en mets pas. Mais souvent, je suis en face de gens qui vont peut-être me dire, tu en fais trop. Ce mot, tu en fais trop, tu es trop présente, on te voit partout, tout le temps. Mais oui, sauf que souvent je réponds, j'ai 45 ans et moi j'ai pas beaucoup de temps. Quand à 43 ans on quitte un poste à responsabilité, on est cadre et qu'on refait une reconversion professionnelle, on n'a pas trop le temps, vous voyez ce que je veux dire. Donc moi j'aimerais aujourd'hui que, avec votre parcours, vous puissiez nous donner des astuces, des choses pour que, en même temps qu'on ait cette audace-là, on puisse avoir, qu'on puisse grandir naturellement, mais en même temps qu'on ne soit pas freiné par ce que pensent les autres de nous qui peut nous bloquer. Merci beaucoup.
Okay. So I guess some of you were listening, but what's your name again, Sandra?
Sonia.
Sonia, was just talking about the fact that she changed profession. She's now a private chef, a personal chef. And sometimes she gets, maybe not criticized, but being told that she's moving too fast. She wants to do too much too quickly. And, kind of how to navigate that. And I would, maybe even to the point of being too aggressive, so she gets that a lot. And I would say that, honestly, it really doesn't matter as long as it's working. If what you're doing is working, it doesn't matter what anyone says. Okay, it really doesn't matter. What is most important is everything that you do. If you try this and you realize that, no, it's not working in this corner or in this way, let me try something different. So it's about your ability to be open, to realize that not everyone is the same. If I want to sell a dress to somebody who doesn't like dresses, I'm wasting my time. But if that person has an interest in something else and I think that I can, find a way, maybe they'll take the dress for their mum. But we've formed a connection. So it's really about understanding what you're doing and who you're doing it with, and where you need to maybe change approach, you do that, because that's also important. I mean, in leadership, whether it's corporate, entrepreneurship, emotional intelligence is so important. So it's about knowing yourself well enough to understand how others perceive you, and you've already got that, but then also understanding who they are and what's going to work for them. So you can be extremely successful by understanding people and by just changing your tack. But again, if it's working for you, keep doing it. Some people only wish that they could be as, forthright and as forthcoming as you. And others will be looking, saying, why can't I have a piece of that? So don't listen, especially if it's people just trying to be discouraging. But you yourself look at the environment and see if there are any times you have to adapt or just change your approach. That's what I would advise.
Perfect. Tucci Goka Ivowi. Thank you so much.
Thank you all very much
for sharing that. Now we've got our next speaker, and Anna Sherbenina is a real estate expert. She's going to be speaking with us about navigating global challenges through versatility.
Good evening, guys. Do you hear me well?
Perfectly,
I'm
yes.
extremely honored to be here. Seriously, such a love and beautiful energy. I really want to be Ghanaian now. So you have a new Ghanaian citizen. Thank you very, very much. I will maybe surprise you, but I will tell you something incredibly different. And thank you very much. It's beautiful lessons. You guys are amazing. And I really think the from community comes the power of change. And I would really wish that Women of Valour become international. I'm sure it will happen. And now we are already in Paris at Cercle, Interalliée. Look at this incredible place, right? The best place to start international movement. So thank you very, very much. It's such an honor. But what I would like to tell you, it's something that happened to me. I was born in a small village at Urals. Who knows Urals, right? De Gaulle once wanted to go to Urals, but nobody else. It's cold. It's where people were sending prisoners because it's -30. There were no cinema, no nothing. And I was sitting in front of the window. I was 7 years old in a poor apartment with no money of nothing. And I said, no, there's no way it has to be my life. It has to be hope somewhere. But there was no hope. Nothing was happening. And from that time, I read a lot. My parents were engineers, but extremely poor. It was a time of transformation in Russia, Soviet Union. So we basically didn't even have food in the shop. Believe me, you go to the shop and you can't buy anything. So if you find some food for the family, it's already good. So I was hunting for the family, go to shop, trying to, bargage to get some chicken or whatever, or milk, so my family could eat, as sad as it can be. But I learned a lot of skills of negotiation there, right? So here we go, and my mom made me read a lot of stories, and it was stories from all over the world, beautiful Arabic, Chinese stories, and that's what we should do for children, because it made me travel from my small apartment with nothing. And one of the stories was Baron Münchhausen. Actually, I think the German story, and this is a guy on a horse, and he jumped into the swamp, and he started dying, and nobody helped him. So what he did, he pushed himself, and he released himself by pushing up. It sounds fantastic, right? But that's what actually I do in my life. When I have no resources, I just come from myself and I say, okay, I have no resources, but it's okay. I believe myself and I'm going to do this. So what did I do? First I did the model. I was an international model on the best shows and so on. Then I say, yeah, but I want to do more. So I say, I want to do acting. So I did a lot of international films. Actually, I was awarded with international prizes all over the world, and I'm so happy about this. And actually, I even worked for Martin Scorsese. People say, no, this girl, you're seriously crazy. Martin Scorsese, the best director, he never worked with European actors. You think he will hire you? You? I say, yeah, why not? I believe in myself. So I went to New York. I went this audition, and it was a beautiful vinyl show produced by Mick Jagger, and it was just fine. And then I said, yeah, it's good, but somehow I would like to use my brain. What should I do? And I have a little baby girl called Alma. She's 7. So I'm thinking about her tonight as well. And mommy, you want to be with your children, family, and so important. And this is a real woman challenge we didn't talk about, but this is such a big challenge. To be a mom, it's just a 100% job, 1,000% job. So how you add another job to a job, right? So I say, well, I will do real estate. And actually, I even had to go to school because they say you need to have a license. I didn't have studies enough. I say, what? All like that, I'll go to study? How embarrassing. After all the red carpets, I did Cannes Festival and so on, and all this international study, and then I just go study in exams. It was a really tough decision, but you know what? I did. Now I have my own brokerage. It's Place Vendôme. I actually have this beautiful, thank you, beautiful release and Figaro Propriété. If you guys want to get one, let me know. I will send you the exemplar. So this is a beautiful house. We are featuring 35 million euros in a 16 area. Beautiful 1,100 square meters indoor, 1,500 square meters outdoor space, beautiful swimming pool, and it's a good investment because once you renovate it, it's even bring bigger value. You never know where you meet your client. Okay, but after, thank you so much, guys, you're amazing. So what I'm trying to say here, actually, I was working with UNICEF. Once I came over and they say, why won't you help? I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. And in the end of the day, I was in the committee of honor. We were doing sales, and all the biggest company like Dior and Chanel were sending us little dolls. I was Chanel door, it's beautiful, right? So we're sending it's really expensive. And then vaccinate children in Darfur, like UNICEF programs. And once I sold the vase, it was from Stéphane Roland Couture. And I said, I needed to say something to sell it, very expensive, 5,000 euros, a small vase. So I say, the person who buy it will be very successful in business. So one Parisian guy bought it. He became an RP, public relation company, and he became very successful. So he told me, Anna, what? Your vase worked. I became successful of your vase. But this is not true. It's not the vase. It's a symbol that he believed that it worked. So I'm sharing you my own. This is a phoenix. I bought in the United States once of an emergency landing. I was in a Phoenix. I say, where you going to buy Phoenix? At Phoenix. So Phoenix is a small dog. My daughter makes laughs of me, sleeps with me sometimes, to remind me that we're all phoenixes. We can be born to death and reborn and start a new life. But what's the most important? is to be truly happy. Guys, don't let anyone tell me who you should be. You can be anyone. You want to be president? Fine. You want to be international singer? It's how it works, but only one condition, actually two. You believe it 100% and you work for it. You do those steps. But if you do those, I promise, I tried 3 different jobs, it all worked. Like Madame Figaro named me 5 most successful real estate broker in no time. And I don't even feel it I'm working because I do something so exciting, sell beautiful properties and all that. And actually, you know what? Nana, thank you very much. I'm thinking about a new job. I didn't tell others. I would like to be a speaker. So if you guys liked what happened tonight, please send me an Instagram message, how are you doing? And then, I would love to do TED, because I'm telling you why, because I have proofs. Okay, waste guy, remember? But I have another one, I had a friend, and he was in a small bureau by here, like in the renting office, he wanted to do finance, and he wanted to become rich, why not? And it didn't work, and he was trying to work hard and do everything, it didn't work. And I sit in front of him and I say, you should change this, this, and this. He didn't tell me anything. He went out, and my friend lately told me, do you know how much money he has now? I say, no. $7 billion in 10 years, and worked. And he told me later, yes, Anna, you know what? Somehow I have this little capacity when I connect to someone to help him how to become his success. Because I'm connecting to a person in an authentic way. Because we're all playing role. Right now I'm playing role of speaker of Women of Valour, but at the same time, we are humans. And first step is who we are. What do I like? What do I want? Truly, not your mom, not your society, not what you think about yourself, but truly you. And I know how to know this. When you do truly you don't count hours. You're happy, you're vibrant, you want to do more. You wake up in the morning, you want to do, when can I start? If you go to work, say, oh my God, work. That means there's something wrong. So the first step is recognize who you are, then to connect to community. Actually, for example, I always like to reinvent myself, and now lately in the morning, I listen one success story. It's very quickly, you brush your teeth, you do your beautiful hair, and I listened recently, for example, Madonna, who said in the beginning, you know what, I will be international star. And she did. She was not that good dancer, not that good singer, and she did, because that's her wanted, it was right for her. So guys, if you want to be whatever you want to be, it will be right for you, it will work, you will manifest much faster than you can imagine. I had this conversation with Martin Scorsese in New York. I say, wow, so I say, yeah, you're taken, you're amazing. I'm like, wow, you have the part? And I say, but how it works, it's so incredible to work with those stars. It was just like that, with no effort. But this is what's happening when you meditate, you connect to your truly self. For example, this is, once again, muscles. You train muscles. If you lay down for 2 months, you will have no muscles. Everybody knows this if you're in a hospital, unfortunately. It's the same with success. I really think we should train for success and for happiness. Sometimes you don't want to. You just want to eat hamburger. You have no idea how I love food. And my next step will be trying to do some regime, whatever. But this is the thing. You do little step, and then you kind of take pleasure, and it works. Guys, I promise to you, you have to believe me. You have to believe Magic Anna applied some advices, like I was just telling you tonight, and you will see the difference you will never believe. It happened in my life. People don't believe. They say, how? From the village, you do Scorsese, you do this, you do that, you never stop, and it looks easy. Because I applied those secrets I learned actually from others and from the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Anna, for sharing your story. Certainly very, very inspiring. And it's beautiful that you started off by saying that you love the love in the room. A round of applause, please, to Women of Valour, to Anamoah, for that spirit of love. And you said you'd love to be Ghanaian, right? Okay, yep. So let me just do this. By the power vested in me, as the host, you're officially, yeah. Do you like the name?
Thank you, but I want my hair done.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're officially, yeah. You come to Ghana, get your hair done at Oh My Hair, yes?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yes, you're most welcome. Thank you so much for that inspiring speech. We've got some questions, have we?
Merci, Anna, pour ton discours. On va poser 3 petites questions rapidement. 3 questions, just okay.
Thank you, Anna.
Hello.
Me again. Hi. So you talk about reading the book that made you dream big. I believe that little seed that was planted in your head at that point manifested a lot in your life. Where I'm from in Ghana, it's very tough. There are no systems and structures in place to actually help people. Many times when people are in a sad place or in a poor place, they go in a downward spiral. And you must agree, like in Europe and America as well, it's like there's systems in place to help you when you want to do something, even as simple as traveling here or attending Women of Valour. So what would you advise someone who is that little person or that small person back in the day that you were, who lives in Africa, who doesn't have access to these things?
Thank you so much for a very beautiful question. But what I'm trying to tell you, it's coming from you. I never take help from anyone else. You know why? Because you should not count on anyone else. As it is, we're on the earth, we can count on your loved ones, your family, your partner, your children, but that's it. Actually, this is life. We are by ourselves, but it's fine. Now we have internet. My answer is, first you have to know what you want. You do meditation every morning, so you clean all the negativity, all that. It really works this way. And then you start to do a plan from who you are and what you want. So I need to know what you want. If you tell me what you want, I can give you the plan. In 1 year, you have it. Maximum. So please contact me, Anna Sherbinina. Anna Sherbinina on Instagram. I would love to see it will work. It works for everyone. And actually, so this little girl in Ghana, she should hopefully connect to internet, find a way, read books, find a plan, and then it will work out. I talked to one lady about this when I was in Russia before I realized I had this little ability. She went with $200 in in Los Angeles. Her employee from summer job dropped her. She was like almost in the street, and now she's the most successful lawyer. And every time I go to LA, she's like, wow, this life is because of you. And she really like celebrates me, which is embarrassing. It's too much. But I saw how it worked at that time before I had all the studies. So that's what I would say. We have a community. That could be good Women of Valour having kind of a community so people can write down. And believe me, we have so many resources in here. Like money, opportunity, right people will come to you itself. Sometimes I go in the street and some person would come to me and say, do you want to do this? But you have to be open. Like very much time we are in a hurry or we think it's not for us. But for example, if somebody say to me, listen, can you vote for the presidency? I would say, let's try. Like when you say, do you want to be Women of Valour? I didn't know the organization. And here I am. And I'm sure from here, all of you, at least 2 or 3 people will do something great with me. Because that's how it works, as law of attraction. But if I will choose to stay at home, believe me, I'm sure nothing would happen. So this is what we do. We do step, another step to success and happiness. Why I say to success and happiness? Because one of the other doesn't work. If you're very happy but unsuccessful, it's a little sad. And if you're very successful but unhappy, it's even worse. So both things are amazing.
Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation. There is something I have struggled with as a person, and I'm sure there are other people who can relate. My name is Mahalia Bamford, and my problem is I easily become good at anything I try. I know it sounds like, how is that a problem, right? But because of this, I've done so many things, and I can't really tell who I am sometimes at a point in my life. Because people meet you and say, what do you do? And there's always a long pause. Am I going to talk about acting? Am I going to talk about singing? Am I going to talk about presenting? Or am I going to talk about my business? So my question now is, to any young lady out there who has a lot of potential in different areas and may find themselves confused or have a problem with identity because of their diverse capacities, how do you advise such a person to advance in life?
Thank you very much. A very good question. It happened to me because I wanted to do this and this and this and like really lost. And in the end, you're unhappy because you don't even know why you're doing this and for what. And in my case, what helped, I met this beautiful woman. Once again, I was open. Listen, to the road to my children's school. And it was this lady. I said, what's your name? Melanie. What do you do? I'm a success coach. Can I have a session? She's like, normally I coach only CEOs, but I say, can you? I say, okay, you're in the school with my daughter. So we set up. So thank you very much for Melanie, if she I can give you a name for somebody who is interested. So we sit down. She's from Morocco. She's an amazing woman. She had a burnout in an enterprise where she was working. So now she is success coach. She studied this professionally because sometimes to understand ourselves, we're not schizophrenic, like, oh, how I am, all the day. It's not that easy. It's like when you have a pain in the stomach, it can be so many things. It's a little bit the same with those things. If you're unhappy, you'll know this. But then it's good, it worked for me, to work with a very good success coach. So we sit together. So we sit together and say, what would you like to do? And I say, I would like to work with people. I love to serve people. I would like to still stay luxury because I know luxury world. And slowly by slowly, we decided that I will be a real estate broker. I didn't know nothing, zero. I was like, wow. But it happened, and it worked very, very well. And I think I will continue till I am the speaker. So this is my answer. Try to maybe first read some books. There are so many books. There are such a great resources, guys. In the internet, like you go to the bookshelf, whatever, Bookmate, for free, tons of books in any languages. And then maybe a professional coach. But what you tell to me, I feel maybe you would like to transmit with people. I don't know. Like maybe you'd like to share your experience with others, learn others. No? Maybe? But anyway, it will be interesting. And once you find this, your life will become so much joyful. I promise. Even money will be not an issue, anything. Believe me, in happiness in life, it is all the like Birkin, right? And so on, but it's not the happiness. The happiness is when you're happy. But we like Birkin.
All right, thank you so much. Let me greet everyone here. Bonsoir, and to you, j'espère que vous allez bien. Let me say something a little bit. I think I've been learning French for the past 476 days. And I'm so proud of myself because I didn't see Nanaba putting up this event, and this is my first time traveling. I feel very happy because I'm here and I'm able to use my French here. I feel very proud of myself. Now, I have a question which is so dear to my heart. When it gets tough, what do I do as an individual? Back in Ghana, I'm actually a student of KNUST. I'm a level 200 student. So when I had the opportunity, I'm like, no, I'm grabbing this. I need to make it here. Aside school, I'm an MC. I'm a voice actor. I do, a lot of programs and events in Kumasi, Ghana. And sometimes it gets tough. Sometimes it gets very disheartening for me, knowing so well that I have to combine school with all these activities. These are things that I do to fetch me some, little coins. But tonight, I want you to give me just a little bit of advice. What I do as an individual, sometimes I get lost. I know I MC programs. I know this is what I do. But sometimes I ask myself a question. What do you really want to do for yourself in life? Beatrice, what is your purpose on earth? Sometimes I ask myself, I pray to God, and sometimes I don't even hear God speaking to me. I get so lost in it, and I honestly don't know what to do. And again, I have people that look up to me. Because I find myself in tertiary, I have a lot of students looking up to me. Oh, you're so good. I love your confidence. I want to be an MC. Can you groom me? I want to be confident like you. Can you groom me? It's a lot. But as soon as I get into my closet, I cry. Because I have some people, oh, you're not doing so well. Definitely there are going to be some people who would, say negative stuff about you. But this is what I love to do. But the negative comments, sometimes they are too much to handle. And I'm too young. Honestly, I'm too young for that. So how do I overcome this? What advice do you have for me as a student trying to get the best out of life? Honestly, I'm heartbroken right now.
Thank you very much.
But what do I do?
Beautiful sharing.
Thank you.
It's very beautiful that what you say to us. And my answer from my point of view will be that your past is not yours. That's why you're unhappy. That's why you're crying. Millions of people are in this situation. If we're truly honest, very few make it exactly as they want. And that's why we admire them. What people call stars or whatever. Like, I don't know, I think of Oprah, maybe. But some people you can see when person is happy and balanced, they shine, you know. But everybody shines. You just, whenever you take a wrong path and you go wrong road, the more you go wrong road, the tougher it gets. So what you're telling to me, it's a time. It's your time to be here and hear a message. That's what I'm trying to tell. I really believe, the word didn't say much maybe, but it's okay. It's God. I believe in God so much. And it's just so important for me, but God guides you. He sends you signs all the time. You know, it's like this famous story, somebody who wants to win the lottery and say, oh, you sucks, you never send me. Say, you never played a lottery, never buy the ticket. So buy a ticket to your lottery. Truly try to stop, maybe go 1 week on vacation, try to reconnect with yourself, with your friends, but most importantly with your heart. Maybe go to a church or whatever place that makes you happy, and the answer will come, and you will see through. And nice, right people will come through. It's already happening because you're already here. So the question is, would you take our advice, or would you go home and continue to suffer? It's your choice.
We will make the last one.
Didn't we do 3? I know how to count to 3.
Many people want to ask you.
Thank you. Bonsoir à tous. Bonsoir. So my name is Millie. I'm the founder of Clésis Junior, a school that teach children things that they don't learn at school, like entrepreneurship, finance literacy, and all these things. And our goal is to teach them that they can do everything. And I just wanted to say thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your speech. So it's just a warm thank you. And I have now a network of 7 schools in France. And I was afraid of going international. But listening to your story, I'm like, I can do it.
You want,
so
it'll happen.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thanks that was not a question. Anne, as you clearly mentioned, you know how to count to 3, so yeah, we technically still had 3 questions. A round of applause yet again,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing a very heartfelt story, life story there. Now, our final speaker, Chidimma Adetshina from Nigeria and South Africa, yes. A celebrated model pageant queen. Chidi, go ahead and share your story.
First of all, I would like to say thank you to Nana and the Women of Valour for bringing me here to Paris and giving me this platform and this opportunity to share my story. Initially, I was like, okay, I'm going to plan what I'm going to say, but then I thought to myself, there's so much power in being authentic. Why not say my story from my heart? Reflection time. I think I need a box of tissues. But I've always been a pageant girl. Pageantry is something that I've always loved to do since I was 4 years old. I remember being called Miss Bambi, Bosmansdam Primary Queen, high school. And for me, I thought that pageantry was just for young girls until one day I watched Miss Universe in 2017 and I saw Demi Lee being crowned. And I was like, so pageantry is not just for kids, it's also for older women. And I was so excited. And when she was crowned, I was so inspired. I didn't know what it was all about. I just saw a queen that looked so beautiful with a crown, dress. I was like, I'm going to be Miss Universe. And I had her picture up my wall. And for me, it was all jokes and play, to be honest. And then in 2023, I decided to sign up for Miss South Africa. I was a mom, a new mom. I was going through a lot, but I was like, you know what? I just want to try. And that was the year they actually changed the rules. And I was like, you know what? I am doing it. My son was just 1 month, but I still tried. Unfortunately, I got rejected, and it was really traumatizing for me because I was like, am I ugly? I just gave birth. I'm not looking like the Chichi I used to be before. However, I did not let that stop me. I said, I'm going back again, and I'm trying. In 2024, I signed up for Miss South Africa, and I made the top 30. For me, making the top 30, I was just like, I'm happy. I don't need to go further. I'm good. This is the confirmation I needed. I was actually underestimating my power. I was underestimating the strength that I have and who I am as an individual. And when I made the top 30, that is where everything took a sharp curve for me. I have never used my name Chidimma before. People call me Chichi, Vanessa. And I decided, you know what? I'm entering this competition, me, the real me. And that's Chidimma Vanessa Onwe Adetshina. When I made the top 30,
right through top 16, I faced a lot of backlash. A lot of South Africans felt like I wasn't South African enough. They said, Chidimma's not a South African name. She doesn't represent a South African. She doesn't listen to South African music. Her TikTok is full of Nigerian music. Her bio says she's Nigerian and Mozambican, so she's not truly a South African. For me, that was really heartbreaking because that was where I felt rejected. I lived in South Africa for 23 years of my life. I've played netball, represented the Western Cape, the Western Province for many years. So for me to see that I want to achieve my dreams and my goal, and I'm feeling rejected by a place that I call home, was the most heartbreaking ever. However, I did not let that stop me, because this is something I really wanted since I was young. So I said, I'm not going to let this stop me. And I actually read a saying yesterday that said, a ship does not sink when there's water around it. A ship will only sink when there's water inside of it. And that's when I realized that I did not allow the negative comments and everything to bring me down or weigh me down. Instead, I let it stay out, and I believed in who I really am and what I really wanted. When I made the top 9, that's where the backlash and everything got so intense. At some point, I really thought I was really, really strong and nothing was going to get me down. But in all honesty, it did get to me. And then the Department of Home Affairs released a statement to say my mom is alleged committed a crime for identity theft. I, in that moment, wanted the floor to swallow me. I was like, why now? Why me? I just made top 9. I'm walking that stage. Why is this happening to me? I then told myself, irrespective of everything, you're still going to do it. You're still going to fight and make sure you walk that stage. I was then told I'm going to court the day before the competition, and I was like, I'm ready to go. I didn't do anything. I just wanted to achieve my dream, and I'm ready to fight. Last moment was really traumatizing for me, and I decided, you know what? It's time for me to let go. And I think that's where the power really started for me. Knowing when it's time to let go of things, irrespective of how you feel. It was not something I wanted to do. Like I said, being Miss South Africa, walking the Miss Universe stage is something I've always wanted. So for me to let go of it, it was devastating. I just told myself, you know what, maybe it wasn't for me, and that's okay. And then a few days after, I was like, what next? What happens to me now? Then I got an email from Silverbird asking, would you like to participate in Miss Universe Nigeria? I was like, what? Me? Okay. I was really interested, to be quite honest. Like I said, I've always had this driving fierce force of like, I'm going to walk that stage. I don't know how, I don't know where, I don't know when, but I knew I had it inside of me and I knew I could do it. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to accept the offer. Yes, I will. 2 days before, I called them back and I said, I'm sorry, I cannot do it anymore. I do not want to take this offer. It was so heartbreaking because I was like, you've always wanted to do this. Why are you letting yourself down now? And I felt like that was God actually speaking for me and saying that this is your second chance to achieve your dream. Why are you doing this? Already my whole family knew that I was not going to accept the offer. The morning of the press release for Silverbird, I didn't tell my mom, my dad, my lawyer, no one. I woke up in the morning, I called Silverbird and I was like, I'm accepting the offer. Put it out, I'm coming. And my dad woke up in the morning and was like, what's this? Why did you accept the offer? This is not what we spoke about. And I was like, I'm sorry, but this is really something I want to do. I really want to walk this Miss Universe stage and I know I'm capable of doing it. Please support me. And my family supported me. I then went to Nigeria. I did the whole competition. Warm welcome from Nigerians. I've never lived in Nigeria for longer than a month. I only came to visit once. But the reception I felt from the moment I arrived, I felt like I was at home. And after knowing that I was actually rejected from a place that I call home, and Nigeria accepted me without me knowing much about the culture, knowing much about anything, yet they still celebrated me and supported me. That meant the world to me, honestly. And then I was crowned Miss Universe Nigeria, and I think those of you who've watched the video, you'll see my expression was very bleak. I was like, finally, finally. And I think I was also ripped of that joy. I was filled with so much anger, so much hurt, so much pain. I couldn't really celebrate the fact that I won because I knew that I was not okay within myself. I was happy, but I wasn't okay. Then it was now time for me to go to Miss Universe. And I think that was the moment where reality really hit in for me to know that I am about to achieve that dream I set for myself in 2017. And I'm about to show everyone that put me down, doubted me, rejected me, discriminated against me, that I am still going to do it and I will definitely show up. Then I got to Mexico and I saw all these beautiful girls from the many countries, Albania, Venezuela, Thailand, Philippines. I was like, oh, Lord. Here we go again. And I'm not going to lie, I was very insecure. I've got a scar on my leg because I tried out for the SA team. I don't like my smile, my body. There's so many things I was really insecure about, and a lot of people wouldn't know, and I'm sure I'm saying it for the first time, and everyone's like, what? But it was really something I was insecure about, and I told myself, you're not going to make it. Like, you got to walk, which, congratulations. You got to achieve your dream, but you're not going to do it. Like, the competition is hectic. Like, it's not for you. And my whole team supported me. From the moment I got to Mexico, I had to make sure I put Nigeria on that map. And I'm so glad and happy that every single time I stepped out, I made sure everyone remembered who Nigeria is. On the day of the prelims, I fell really, really sick. And the chaperone came to me and told me that the doctor said I should go to the hospital and not compete. I was like, after everything I've been through, I didn't get this far to come this far and give up. I'm walking that stage with or without being sick. It was like, okay, it's your choice. If you want to, you can do it. And I did. A lot of people wouldn't have noticed that I was feeling so ill. A lot of mosquito bites on my leg. It was hectic for me, traumatizing as well, because I already know the journey I'd faced. Still facing it in Mexico, petition after petition after petition to get me out of the competition. And I literally went to my room and I cried and I was like, God, if this petition is gonna work, clearly this is a sign that I really need to give up, because I've fought and I've fought and I am tired, genuinely tired. And the organization called me and they were like, listen, this is what's happening. We've received petitions, but you're still capable of competing. I was like, what? Oh, thank God. It was really a good sense of relief to know that irrespective of everything, I still got that opportunity to fulfill my dream. On the day of the competition, I did not think I would make anything further than the top 30. I literally have my prediction list on my phone. And I was like, I'm good with that. I'm really good with that and I'm happy. And I got called to top 30. And I got called to top 12. I got called to top 5. And I was crowned the first runner-up of Miss Universe 2024. So before coming here, I got to understand that the theme was the audacity of courage. Then I asked myself, what does courage really mean? And for me, it is about doing things that you really want to do, irrespective of what you feel in that moment. Whether you feel intimidated, scared, insecure, anything you're feeling, but you're still able to put your foot down and do it. That is what courage is. And I'm so honored to be standing before each and every one of you. I feel so inspired and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
A resounding round of applause for you, Chidi. And I hope those insecurities don't still remain, because you've got an absolutely beautiful smile and a lovely body, so please. Thank you so much for sharing. Now we've got 3 questions. Okay. We've got 3 questions for Chidi. Starting off with yes, Pascal.
So thank you very much for this very inspiring journey. I'm pretty sure you inspired people all across Africa and probably the world. My question is, what are you going to do next? How are you going to embody this story, this commitment? Yes, how are you going to amaze the world? So let us know what you want to do, and we'll be there to support you as well.
Beautiful question. Go ahead.
So like I mentioned before in my interviews, I am not going to do pageantry anymore. I feel like I've done a great job and I've left a huge mark, and I think it's also time for me to let go of that journey. Like I said, sometimes it's really important to know when it's time to let go of certain things. And moving forward, I would really like to finish my law degree. I was studying law. Unfortunately, because of everything that happened, I did not get the opportunity to finish, but I know definitely by God's grace I will graduate and I will fulfill my dream. And also, I still want to pursue my dream in modeling. I haven't yet started, but I know that this year is going to be a very great year for me, a stepping stone, and I'm looking forward to not just modeling and being a lawyer, but taking up as much opportunities as I can. Like I said, in my other previous interview, I feel like it is important for us as women to take up space anywhere and everywhere that we can. Thank you.
Hi, Chidi. Mine is no question. Well done. To have a whole nation gagging up against you. Resilience, purpose, passion. Well done.
Well done. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Afima. So I don't have a question, but I just want to say that I celebrate you so much. I had this dream. I couldn't feather it because I was raped, and it's something that has been with me for so many years. So today, as I stand in front of these great women and great men, I just want to say I celebrate you. I love your courage. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And we support you and the Women of Valour community as well. Thank you for so openly sharing that story of rape. And we are with you with any support needed. Yes?
Yes, definitely we are with you. And Chidimma, we cannot imagine what you went through. And you talked about a place you called home rejecting you. How did you feel, especially during the xenophobic attacks, to the point where you were discussed in Parliament? This is a place you said you called home. How did you feel in that moment, and how did you deal with it?
It was really heartbreaking. Like I said, I've lived there for 23 years, represented Western Province, Western Cape, and seeing that I am rejected because of a mere barrier, that is my name, and to see that I did not get the support that I did, especially knowing that it was a topic in Parliament. Yesterday, I saw a video that the same situation that I went through happened to a Miss Universe Nigeria in 1995 that was hosted in South Africa. And it was really painful to see that even though she faced what she faced, and it's the same thing that I did, she still had the support from Nelson Mandela, because he had that spirit of Ubuntu. He had that spirit of unity. He supported her, and it was against the country, because we all know that there's been this conflict among South Africa and Nigeria. However, he stood with her, and I felt like not just me facing the backlash was more painful, but it was knowing that there were people in power that could have supported me, but did not support me. Instead, they were the ones that were ready to put me down.
Okay, we've got another question.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Bonsoir, tout le monde. My name is Gozie Moneke, and I'm sitting here listening to your recounting the whole experience. I'm also touched and also happy and and I join others to celebrate you as well. So my question is going to come from the point where you said you had to leave a place where you've lived your whole life, where you called home, and you had to go to a new country where you've never been before, though you had ancestry or you had origins there, but you've never been there. But then the whole country, welcomed you and invited you and celebrated you up until when you came back as the first runner-up from Mexico. So my question would be, what would be your sentiments? Like, what lessons did that experience of you being welcomed by Nigeria, what lessons can you draw from that? And in the era where we talk about, promoting One Africa and being together, supporting Africa, Africans supporting Africans, what lesson can you give out from that whole experience of from being accepted in Nigeria, despite you never had any connection apart from your ancestry? Thank you.
So I met one lady earlier. She said that she also lived in Swazi, and she faced the same situation that I did, and she's also Nigerian. And I was like, there's so many of us that are so diverse, and my first advice is don't neglect or exclude your nationalities at all. You will never know which one of them is coming to save you. Literally. Because honestly, like I said, South Africa was always home for me, and knowing that I've never lived in Nigeria, but they took me like their own. They celebrated me like their own. I don't know, I think we don't understand the principle and the importance of what Nigeria actually did. Understanding that I came from South Africa, I lived there, yet I'm coming to represent Nigeria. They celebrated me, supported me, sleepless nights, fights back and forth, yet they still said, you are one of us. I also want to say that irrespective of what has happened, and I know this statement upsets a lot of people, I am still proudly Nigerian, and I'm still proudly South African. And I think it's important that I stand my ground and also influence other people that if you are of 2 nationalities, 3 nationalities, stand your ground and be proud of it. It's not about who is coming to save you or not. That is who you are. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Asantaba. So I have 2 questions though. The first one is, what is the situation with the home affairs that they raised against your mother? How far gone is that? Did they drop it? How was it like? The other thing is that those in power in South Africa who could have helped you, but rather were the ones behind drawing you down. Have they invited you? Has there been any official apology to you? And I'm also curious, would you still call South Africa home? Do you still live there?
Like I said, and I'm still going to say, I grew up in South Africa, and I'm not going to reject the fact that that's where I grew up from. My family is there, my son is there, my friends are there, my memories are there. I'm still South African irrespective. I don't need to be accepted by them, but that's who I am inside my heart. Second of all, no, I have not received any invitation from any of the politicians that were there to put me down, but I do not need an apology. I need them to use their power and know that they're powerful to actually make an impact. We need unity. There's no need for us to be fighting, especially among South Africa and Nigeria. They have the power, they need to utilize it the right way.
So we know that, sorry to disappoint, but you know for a fact that at our after party, you will get the chance to ask as many questions as you want. Chidi, a huge round of applause for Chidi, really. You are an inspiration and a standing ovation, if we may. You are a true, true inspiration. You are young, you are strong, you have a wonderful legal career ahead of you, that's clear. You've made history in pageantry. The world is your stage, really. We congratulate you. Merci beaucoup. In Ghana, we would say Aiko and bravo. Yes, and in France, you've done a wonderful job, and we are proud of you. We are so excited about the future that is ahead. Now, at Women of Valour, one of our values is celebrating women, yes? And we will continue to celebrate women in every way that we can. And that's why our Women of Valour ambassadors, our lovely Women of Valour ambassadors, have some gifts for our Women of Valour. Yes, yes. So, we have them all up, our Women of Valour ambassadors. Please come up. With the gifts, we've got some gifts for you from a brand, a Ghanaian brand called Kinky Matters. Of course, as we all know, as women, our hair is our crown, be it oh my hair, our natural hair, whatever it is, our hair is our crown. And Kinky Matters is a Ghanaian natural hair brand. You would absolutely love it. It's owned by Lydia Forson, a talented Ghanaian actress. So this is for all our speakers, our Women of Valour, a gift from Kinky Matters. We celebrate you, we thank you, and we look forward to seeing you in our future events. Please do go up and give the gifts to them. Done by our elegant Women of Valour ambassadors. Thank you so much. And this is also perfect time to mention briefly that last night you might have joined us at Les Petites Samaritaines. They hosted a memorable Independence Day dinner ahead of Women of Valour. And today the party continues there. So join us tonight for an official after party. Okay, you can ask some more questions, network, dance, whatever, as we toast to courage, resilience, and women who dare to lead. A round of applause, please, for our Women of Valour.
On va continuer la fête dans un endroit proche d'ici, le networking, et continue. C'était quoi les noms de l'endroit? What's the name of the place?
It's Les Petites Samaritaines.
Les Petites Samaritaines, pas très loin d'ici. On va continuer le networking, on peut parler avec les invités aussi.
Oui, Les Petites Samaritaines, right? Ouais. Thanks for the check there. So please do join us. The party continues right there. Once again, a special thank you to each of you, our Women of Valour. You are beautiful, you are intelligent, and we celebrate you. We congratulate Nana Abba Anamoah for this.
Merci, Nana.
Yes, she deserves a standing ovation as well. Nana, but we celebrate you. We would not be here without your brilliance and your courage. We thank you so much, Nanaba. You are an inspiration. And we thank our Women of Valour ambassadors as well, Vanessa and the entire team. We thank you all for being here, for taking the time to be here and join us.
Merci tout le monde d'être venu ici. Merci.
We should mention that there's a lovely backdrop right in there. You can take some photos, so when we're through, please do go there to take as many photographs as you would want to. Thank you all so much. It's been an absolute pleasure doing this. We look forward to seeing you next year, anywhere, any city. Just dream it. We will certainly be there. Women of Valour is officially a global event. Thank you all so much. I'm Natalie Fort.
Bravo. C'est un plaisir de partager ces moments avec toi. Et merci tout le monde d'être venu. On continue, on va se prendre des photos, on va profiter du reste de la soirée.
Thank you all so much. And there, on that note, we draw the curtains to Women of Valour 2025.
call her the quintessential woman, and she has been doing this about etiquette for years now. She's an etiquette coach, and her name is Sika Goka. She happens to be one of our guest speakers as well. Sika, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I know this is your third time being with us. You've been with us from the beginning. How different is tonight from the previous ones?
Personally, I feel like each year it gets better. What I really loved about this year's was the location, obviously, and the intimacy as well. The room was inspiring. Everything about the city brought it to a different level. And so I'm really glad that I was able to make it.
Now, during your speech, you were able to compare the 21st woman to the ones before her. And we are looking at tomorrow as the International Women's Day. Now, the theme is about action. Yes, taking drastic action. What is the key drastic action that can be taken for the 21st woman now that the person really needs in this era?
Like you said, the answer is actually in the title of the program, which is the audacity of courage. And if we heard any of the lessons today from all of the other speakers sharing stories about their personal lives, there was that running theme that at every single point they had to step up and step out of their comfort zone and to really believe in themselves, fight against the odds, having a big dream, daring to dream. For instance, and being resilient in the face of leadership. And I believe that's what the 21st century lady is all about, keeping true to your traditional values, still having great interpersonal skills, still being an amenable person, still loving people, showing respect to people. But it doesn't mean that at the core of it, you don't have that vision for yourself and that dream to really go out there and say, yes, this is what I want. These are the steps that it's going to take to achieve it, and be steadfast and unwavering in your determination. And that's really what I feel we achieved tonight.
Being steadfast and unwavering in your determination and chasing your dream. This is from Sika Goka to you, wonderful woman watching us. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is the Courage Carpet right here at the Women of Valour Paris 2025. We are in the heart of France. My co-host is joining me right here. Thank you so much, Sika, for joining us.
So once again, I'm Mahalia, and this is the Courage Carpet. I am here with a beautiful
Fana.
Fana, you look amazing. And I heard you ask a couple of questions in there. It tells me that you are following everything. But what would you say was your climax of tonight?
My climax was Chidimma's story. Whoever put her last did an amazing job. We're all women with a lot of obstacles we've crossed, building up courage and resilience. But for a young girl her age to hurdle those issues of national import was a yeoman's job. And I am so appreciative that she was on board this year's presentation.
Thank you so much, Fanny. Now, my last question to you for tonight is tomorrow's International Women's Day. What would you want to tell any woman out there?
Okay, so I have always resonated with Hillary Clinton, saying that the problems of women are not complex issues that cannot be solved. Society is yet to determine that our lives and our issues are worth saving or attending to. Let us hold ourselves together as a coach or a team of excellent people, draw ourselves up the ladder of excellence, and together we'll achieve the greatness we opt for ourselves. The future is feminine, and with everything together, holding each other up, we definitely will get there.
Couldn't have said it any better. The future is indeed feminine. And on this note, I would say Happy International Women's Day in advance. It's been an amazing session with you, Fanny. Thank you.
Joining me now is our youngest participant. I mean, the Women of Valour Paris 2025. And she is 12 years old. Hello, good evening.
Hi, my name is Scholastica. I'm 12. I'm a gymnast and a model. Here, when I came here, I thought...
Okay, so calm down. Your name is Scholastica.
Yeah.
Are you Ghanaian?
Yes, please.
Do you live in Ghana?
Yes, please.
Beautiful. Now, Scholastica, what brought you to Paris? Why did you think you need to be here and to be among all these women and to listen to these wonderful women?
I watched interviews of Anamoah, and all those interviews related to my mother. So I wanted to listen to all these things. I wanted to learn from it, and I asked my mom if I could come here, and she said, "Oh, why not?" So she brought me here, and I had this amazing experience.
Oh, let's talk about your experience, Scholastica. What have you learned out of this meeting for all the people that spoke? What is the one thing you learned?
As Miss Chidimma said, I really loved what she said about even if you have plenty backlashes of people you know where you call as home, you still have to be courageous. You have to stand out. You don't have to make anything put you down. You have to show them that you can do it and you have what it takes to be a woman of valor.
You have to be courageous. You have to stand your ground. You should not allow anybody to put you down. These are the lessons that 12-year-old Scholastica has learned from the Women of Valour Paris 2025. Now, Scholastica, did you know tomorrow is International Women's Day?
Oh.
Did you know that? Well, tomorrow is International Women's Day. Do you know International Women's Day? Do you know anything about it?
Not really, but I know that it's a day to celebrate young ladies, women, and every woman across the world.
Exactly. It's a day to celebrate women in the whole world. And our theme is Accelerate Action. Accelerate Action is all about taking action now. So I'm going to ask you, what is the one thing that you want our government and our leaders to take action on right now for the women? Only for the women. That's one thing you want the government and our leaders to do for the women.
I think they should educate the youth, make sure they give them more opportunities to express themselves. Right. They should make sure that gender equality should be low, and they should make sure the women can also show that they can be also independent.
I know by now you've learned a lot out of our conversation with Scholastica, 12-year-old participant of Women of Valour Paris 2025. Thank you so much, and you are looking lovely. You look like a queen, an African queen to be precise. Thank you so much for joining me. You're welcome. You can go now.
Okay, my name is Mahalia Bamford, and this is the carriage carpet at Women of Valour 2025, and I'm here with Chidimma. I'm so honored, Chidimma. Now, for myself, being a woman with pageantry background, I won Miss Commonwealth Ghana 2019, and I won Miss Africa, Miss Kaneklon Africa 2016 as well. But I must say that from my experience in pageantry, it's not always easy navigating your way from the pageant house. Women don't always support each other, that is the truth. Even though the way to go is to support each other, with the bickering and the jealousy and the hatred, navigating that wasn't easy. And you went ahead to be fought by a whole country trying to put you apart just because you felt you are from South Africa because that's your home, right? And then because of your name being a traditional name representing Nigeria, it gave you out as someone who was trying to represent a couple of people or a country that you don't really come from. You fought your way through that, you gave your speech, and there was a standing ovation. In fact, all the other speakers were commending you. You are so young and you had to fight your way through. How do you feel?
Thank you for that amazing question, and I like your honesty with regards to pageantry, because people often feel that pageantry is all about sisterhood only, but they don't understand that beyond that there's a lot of bickering, fighting, jealousy, envy, and all of that, because I mean we all have that common goal and it is only entitled to one winner. But I feel like it's standing true for yourself and knowing the power and the strength that you have. We really underestimate pageant girls. They are go hard girls, like honestly. And then like I said earlier as well, it wasn't an easy journey being rejected from a place that I call home, but it's not something that I'm going to live with the whole time. Like I said earlier, I still stand proudly Nigerian, still stand proudly South African, but Nigeria is home.
You are not just beautiful, you have a beautiful heart. Now, tomorrow is International Women's Day. What message would you give to the young girl in Africa who may be put down just because they are interested in pageantry? You know, most of us Africans are still trying to champion the cause of traditional professional works like being a doctor or a nurse. And anytime a young girl comes out to show interest in, championing the cause of pageantry, it's almost as if you have nothing else to do. Nothing better to do. And so what would you say in the spirit of celebrating International Women's Day to a young girl?
I would say, first of all, stand your ground, and just like Zosie said, take up that space. Take up that space. Do not limit yourself to one certain aspect. There's so much more life has in store for you, and just go for it. Do not let fear stop you from achieving your goals. And this is also for women as well. Again, take up that space. We need more women leaders as well. So it's important for us to have programs like this so that we can remind ourselves of who we are, and also bring that awareness and reach out, inspire, empower, and bring change. Thank you.
Bring out the energy to inspire and empower. Tomorrow is International Women's Day. Remember what Chidimma says, women are taking spaces, and this is the Courage Carpet. Thank you so much.
Joining me right here is one of our speakers for Women of Valour Paris 2025. I call her the woman who makes money, and she has been with Women of Valour since its inception. Today she took center stage to share her story with us. How did it feel like, Mami, to share your story with the people?
Very fulfilling, I must say. I'm also very proud of myself because, like you said, I've been with Women of Valour since its inception, and I've listened to stories. And I remember last year, Anamoah said, Mami, next year you're speaking. And I said, no, Anamoah, please, let me just be. And then she's like, no, people need to hear your story because there's a lot that goes on with you, but people don't know. People just look at the glam and think that, oh, she's just beautiful and she just, but let them hear your story. And I'm very happy that she forced me to do this, and I'm so happy and so proud of myself for doing this. And I mean, I've met with so many people who are so inspired by my story, who have come up to me, and then I'm willing to, you know, also guide them, motivate them, inspire them in so many ways. And so, yes, I can't wait for next year.
Right, beautiful. Now let's take a look at women in business. Tomorrow is International Women's Day, and the theme is Accelerate Action. It's all about taking action now. When you look at the women, especially those running businesses in the beauty industry, what is that one thing that leaders can do to empower them so that they can move on and be empowered and also lead in various portfolios?
I think what leaders can do for women in the beauty industry will be, I think one of our major challenges is, because we do a lot of imports, is the exchange rates. The inflation is killing us, and sometimes the women don't understand that because of inflation, things has to be so expensive, and there's even so much that you can spend on beauty, you know. So tomorrow being International Women's Day, we're calling on the big men, on the higher ups to do something about the inflation. I mean, we do import a lot, and so help us. The inflation is killing us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. She is the co-founder of All My Hair and also Officer and Co by SA. She's also the co-founder of Sawa Amihia Foundation. Her name is Mami Gyamfua Yeboah. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, women play pivotal roles in the beauty industry. And this is Mami Gyamfua's submission to the leaders. What can be done to empower our women who happen to be the major stakeholders in the beauty industry? We're right here on the Courage Carpet right here. She is the Chief Executive Officer and co-founder and a member of the board of the Ghana Commodity Exchange with over 20 years of experience. Her name is
Tucci Ivowi.
I always get confused with pronouncing her name. Tucci Ivowi. Yes. You are part of the wonderful women who got to share their unique stories with us. How does it feel?
I mean, today I was really determined to share a personal story. I share on so many platforms, and I'm usually talking about leadership in general and giving, you know, advice and insights. But today I really wanted to come and share a couple of personal stories to show that, you know, we're all real, we're all human, we go through challenges. But you don't get to the top of anything if you don't go through challenges and show how you can pass through them and become even stronger, become resilient, because resilience is the cornerstone of leadership. So it was wonderful to be amongst so many women, you know, sharing their stories in full authenticity, becoming vulnerable, just to be able to impact other lives. It's been a wonderful occasion, and I really congratulate Anamoah for organizing this.
Beautiful. Now, it's been exactly 30 years after the Beijing conference. You have spent over 20 years in the corporate world. Let's compare the rights that the women about 20 years ago in the corporate world were facing or enjoying and what we are now. Is there a difference? Is there progress?
I say there is huge progress. I know so many women who have made it to the top of their fields and they just keep on going. When they've reached the top of one, you know, what somebody would consider a ceiling, there's no ceiling because they move on to something else. They're building things, they're growing. Where they are, they're expanding borders. There is so much opportunity. I don't believe that women are restricted. In some cases, there might be challenges, but I've seen that those who put in the work, who are determined, actually make it, and in many, many cases, become the best in their field, regardless of gender. So truly, I think it's a good time to be a woman. I would add that it's also a good time to be an African. The opportunities are there for those who are ready to seize them and to put in the work to make them become something special.
So according to Tucci, you take the action now for yourself as a woman because the opportunities are there. There are women setting examples for you and I to follow. So they are there. You need to accelerate the action by making the decision to grab the opportunities that are present in your world and to become who you want to become and who you believe you can become. Thank you so much for joining us. Tucci is the Chief Executive Officer and founding member of the Ghana Commodity Exchange with over 20 years of experience, and I know we've learned a lot from you, so thank you for sharing your story as well.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
And this has been the Courage Carpet right here at the Women of Valour Paris 2025. We are live in France, in the heart of Paris. We have had great stories that have been churned out in this room. We have listened to the stories, the challenges, the moments where our hearts sank, the moments where the voices were shaking. But in the end, we can say that we have been encouraged, we have been empowered, and we have taken a decision to have the audacity of courage. Ladies and gentlemen, we will come your way shortly, but before we do that, my co-host is joining me right here on the Courage Carpet as we wrap up. Thank you so much, Tucci, for joining me.
So we are live at Le Cercle de l'Union Interalliée. My name is Mahalia Bamford and I hosted the Courage Carpet with my co-host, Blessing. This has been an amazing evening, and do not forget the theme for tonight was the audacity of courage. Once again, now the Women of Valour is an international event. Look out for the next venue. Happy International Women's Day in advance. Have a good evening.
You know, sit up on my heat, I'm on fire.